OMG, you guys, today is Astrimapalooza, and we are going to have an amazing time today. We're going to answer all your questions, but here's the deal. I have so many guests popping in and out throughout the next couple of hours to have fun and to answer your questions and to help you with tips, tricks, all of the good stuff. Welcome to my guests so far. We've got Brian Fanzo in the house. Now, Brian and I haven't really done as much collaboration as we should have in the past because we've been talking about this in Clubhouse. We connect and we're on the same page on so many things. So you're going to hear much more from Brian. Hold on, I'm going to have you all introduce yourselves real quick. But first, Melanie Dyann. Hello. You guys know her. And the one and only Rene Ritchie. Welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
All right, you guys, go in like a little roundhouse here. Just quickly describe who you are, and then, yes, it is going to be a couple of hours, David Bejelak, because we've got guests coming in later, rotating throughout the time that we have with you today. So, super exciting. Brian, who are you?
Yeah. I agree on our whole collaboration. It's kind of ridiculous, right? We both have been playing in the same circles for at least 10 plus years. So it's funny. We went to an audio app to be able to connect and collaborate more on video.
I know.
Who knows what that is?
We'll just go right past that one.
Yeah, we'll skip back that. I'm a multi-hyphenated entrepreneur, digital futurist, keynote speaker, podcaster, lover of live stream. Done a little over 3,500 live streams since 2014. Most of my days were on Meerkat. My claim to fame is I still have more followers. And this is, claim to shame. Sorry, I missed that. I still have more followers on Meerkat than I do on all of my social medias combined. And that app lasted 1 year. But excited to be here and rock out.
I love it. Paul is like, oh, me? I'm just a balance board master.
I just got that in Christmas. That is brand new. That's some of the best I've done the whole time. So I think it was just luck, right? It was just the first time people were seeing it. So.
Hey, Jeff, you want to join us? I'll send you the link.
Right?
Yeah.
Come on, Jeff.
I'm going to send Jeff the link. Here. While I do that, Mel, tell us about yourself as well.
Yeah.
And
thanks
by the way,
having me.
Really quick before you do that, everybody, questions for this group of amazing people. Leave a Q in front of your question in the comments. That'll be gathered over here for me so that I don't miss anything. Don't ask your question twice. Super chats do take priority. Include your question with your super chat, and we'll move you right up to the top of the queue. Go for it, Mel.
Yeah, so thanks for having me. My name is Melanie Dyann. Everybody just calls me Mel, so that's what you should call me too. I love to help people put themselves out there. I think that I'm so passionate about people putting their personal brands out there and being authentic and using social media to do so. And live video is my absolutely freaking favorite way to do that. And I believe in it and I love it. And I'm all about it. So Lori and I, we always make this joke. I'm kind of like the scrappy entrepreneur. So I'm all about, we can be scrappy, but it doesn't have to be crappy. And so I really like to hang out in that level 1, level 2 space and maximize that stuff as much as possible. So that's kind of me. That's my jam. And I have a podcast called DIY Marketing School with Melanie, and check it out.
And I'm going to be, okay, here, guys, here's the deal. Sorry, no, today's going to be a bit of, because we have people coming and going, you're going to hear my messages go because I have to keep those on to alert me, because if somebody can't get in or has a problem, I need to be able to tackle that. So I'll be multitasking today big time. So just go with the flow, have fun today, and understand that we're going to get scrappy today.
I love it. Scrappapreneur. I know. I was like, ooh, I could rebrand myself as the scrappy entrepreneur, but it's already taken. So if you guys have ideas for me, send them my way. I'm all about it.
Yes. And Rene Ritchie. Go for it. Who are you? Introduce
How are you doing?
yourself.
So good to be here.
Yes. I'm so glad to have you back.
Thank you so much. I'm a longtime Apple beat reporter who got into podcasting early on. I currently have a podcast with Georgia Dow called Apple Talk. And I have an eponymous YouTube channel called Rene Ritchie because I I dumped my big media job back in March and went indie, and living that indie life now, Luria.
Whoop, whoop. I was so excited to hear you did that. Okay, maybe I won't keep my messages on. Maybe I'll just keep looking at my messages because they're going to go crazy. All right, Rene, you need to bring your audio up because, so we didn't have a chance to get Rene. And that's the thing, as guests come in, we're not going to have a chance to tech test. So y'all will just have to let me know what we got to do. Who is Rene Ritchie? I know.
Who am I?
I was just giving them a chance to introduce themselves. Okay, let's tackle some questions. Are y'all ready for some questions?
Let's do it.
All right. Con? What is Rene's opinion on today's Mac leaks? Uh-oh, what happened?
Yeah, so there were 2 leaks, one from Guo Mingqi, who's a supply chain analyst in China who tends to get information from the factories, and one from Mark Gurman at Bloomberg saying that Apple's bringing out their new updated, redesigned early as this summer, maybe as late as the fall. They'll have a 14-inch MacBook Pro, but they sound really retro, like they're going to bring back the old ports, get rid of the touch bar, and bring MagSafe back. So it's like 2015 all over again.
Wow. Okay, multitasking.
That's what this was. This was Steve Jobs, by the way. That's my Steve Jobs
now I
doll.
see it.
I have the exact same one.
Oh yeah, so Throwboy. Yeah, the Throwboy collector item, right?
All right, we have a new guest in the house, Molly Mahoney. Welcome.
What's up, Molly?
Oh my gosh, the internet is so magical. I am driving to Palm Desert with my family. I am using a lap tripod. My husband is here driving the car. My kids are in the back.
I love it.
Say hi. He looks asleep.
That's awesome.
He's over there somewhere.
Oh,
Okay.
they are so like dead asleep right now.
I can't figure out how to stay in frame, but I'm so glad to be here, and I'm just so grateful for you, and so good to see everybody, and it's just so fun.
I know, it is so fun. Now, okay, I'm just gonna go here. Just gonna go here again.
Okay.
Molly and I, Molly and I have been hanging out a lot on Clubhouse, as has Brian, and we have. She hosted a room yesterday. We're hosting a room, like co-hosting a room with a bunch of people every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. from here on out. And Molly, you hosted an amazing room last night.
Oh my gosh, it was the most fun I've had in a really, really, really long time. My poor family, I came downstairs and I was like, everything awesome that had happened. So yeah.
We had Jeff Walker come in and Justin Guarini from American Idol last night. It was just nuts. It was nuts.
He was from season 1, right, with
Yeah.
Kelly Clarkson. Yeah, and they did a movie together. That's right.
When I watch TV.
Okay, so Molly, quickly introduce yourself, and then we're going to keep answering questions and get moving back into your questions. Reminder, if you do have questions, put a Q in front of your question. If you don't ask your question twice, and super chats take priority. Go for it, Molly.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'm Molly Mahoney, as Luria so awesomely said. Thank you. And I have a company called The Prepared Performer, where I've taken all my experience as a professional musical theater performer and translated that into how you can show up on camera and the magic of monetizing that. So we love to combine live video, organic social, and the magic of messenger bots that help drive more human connections. And with that system, we hit a reach of 1 million organically, and now we help others to do the same with our Go Live and Monetize method, which stands for GLAM. So fun.
And she is glam.
I mean, look at that hat.
Sparkly pants and all. Okay, maybe if we have time, we'll get to hair tips. But right now, we have a question from Kevin, and I think this is probably one of the best. No, Rene, you can't pull it off. I think this is actually one of the best questions I've ever heard, Kevin.
Whoa.
Member 2 months. He says, "What's your number one asked question? And what should they be asking instead?" I'm going to go roundtable because I want to hear all of your answers on this. Brian, you ready? And Molly, you've got some feedback, so I'm going to keep you on mute until you're talking, just so you know.
That's perfect, because I don't know how the Wi-Fi is actually going to stand. So
Okay.
we're testing the boundaries of time and space.
Totally. All right, Brian, go for it.
I always joke that the number one thing that I always hear asked is this live, right? Like that's like the joke part, right? Especially in the early days. I think a lot of times I hear is, how can live streaming help my business is the question I hear too often. Or, how can I help my marketing, I guess is the question. Like, how can live streaming help my marketing? And I think the better question is, what is the impact live streaming can have on my business as a whole? And, a lot of the brands I've worked with, we've done it, and ended up using it as a recruiting tool more so than anything else to humanize the brand. I worked with the Department of Defense here in DC, Defense Intel, and the entire thing was anytime you ask someone in the government what they did, they're like, I can't tell you, it's classified. And so, like, how do you recruit when that's your recruiting method? And so we did live streams, Facebook Lives and Periscopes from secured facilities, interviewing people and kind of, bringing people behind the scenes. And it was definitely not a marketing play. It was a massively successful recruiting play. So I say, don't ask what can live stream do for marketing, but what can live stream do for your business?
I love that. Love that. Okay, Mel, you're up.
This is a doozy. I'm like, God, I'm going to generalize it.
Okay.
Because here's what I see. I think people ask way too many questions about the tech. They focus too much on the tech, and honestly, they're hiding behind the tech. They're saying, "Well, I'm not ready yet. I need to figure this out first before I go live." And as we all like to say, grab your dang phone and click the button. Like as Brian always says, like go and don't focus on the tech. Focus on the content, because all the tech is fancy. It's extra. It's icing on the cake. But the true cake is your message and you. And so even if you're just on a phone, like look at Molly Mahoney's on her freaking phone in the car and it's totally fine, right? Thank God she's not driving. But I just think people focus too much on the tech stuff when I really want them to focus on their message and the content. The tech stuff, like I said, is just the fun, the bells and whistles, the extra stuff. But you can have all the tech in the world, and if your message sucks or if your content sucks, it doesn't matter. So yeah. I just say focus on the content, really make sure that's really strong, and then the tech stuff is just the fun stuff.
Fantastic answer. You stole mine, but whatever.
Yes.
I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you today. Rene.
Yeah, so mine is there's two of them, but they're actually mirrors of each other, and it's always some version of people asking about solutions they think they want rather than the problems they actually have, because sometimes the solutions are very different than what they think they are. And when that works out to creating and streaming and YouTubing and all that, it's people who always ask how they get more audience instead of what can they give to an audience that would grow it. So it's often thinking about themselves and not the community.
Oh, love that.
That is really good. Okay, Molly, I have to unmute you. You're up.
So good. These answers are so awesome. I love this. And what a great question. I would say the number one question that I get is, how do I make more sales? And what they are skipping is the piece that you want to build connections first and then allow the sales to come. So this actually is something that sparks an entire, like everyone's heads are nodding. Very specifically, a couple of years ago, there was a company that sold clothes and they wouldn't let their consultants sell on their business page. And I had so many consultants come to me and say, well, if I can't do live sales on my business page, why would I even want to use a business page? And I was like, if one more person says that, I'm going to scream, because you want to, at the time, they were selling in Facebook groups. So you use your business page to connect with people, to build relationships, to put out value and get people to raise their hands, move them to that next step in the relationship where then you can make the sales. So if you skip that first step, you're actually missing out on a lot of people who may end up buying from you in the future.
Okay. I have to say, there used to be a social platform where you could buy stock in people. Oh, you remember that, Brian?
Oh yes. Oh my gosh.
Hated that thing so much.
It would go away for like a year and then it would come back, and I was like, oh, it was so. It would
pop up in your Twitter feed all the time, like someone invested in you, and it was so random and weird.
Yeah, Okay, I'm muting her. It looks like, hey, at least it froze on a really good picture.
I mean,
like that was a really good freeze. Okay. Anyway, that was just a total side note. But since Mel took mine, I would say the next question that people ask so much is how, kind of along the lines of what you said, Rene, but like, how do I get a bigger audience? How do I get more people watching me? And what the question that they should be asking is, what should I do right here and now while I have few people to really create a solid foundation for myself as a host, for my community, and then allow myself to grow as, from the audience perspective. So there's so much you can do right now when you have a small audience. By connection is a theme here, right? But also getting good at the performance of and being on camera and letting your personality loose, learning how to engage with your audience. There are so many skills needed in order to have a bigger audience. So that's what I would say mine would be.
That's a good answer.
All right.
Can I add a bonus one?
Yeah,
Can I add a
go
bonus
for
one on
it.
that real quick? It's a soapbox I did in the Clubhouse room last night. Like people asking for, how can I make this interactive, right? Like, or the word interactive is like my pet peeve at the moment, right? Because everybody wants like, oh, I want an interactive video. I want this to be interactive. And the question they're really should be asking is, how do I keep the audience's attention for my entire live stream? But for some reason, we blanket that under interactive, because I'm all for interactive. I'm reading the chat the entire time. I love that piece of it, but not everything should be interactive. And let's face it, some of the greatest experiences we have on video are when we're just learning and consuming and taking notes, not focused on the interactive side. So yes. Oh, look at that.
$20 super chat from CK. Amazing responses from everyone. Everyone gets a cookie.
Am I the only one staying up till 3 a.m. on Clubhouse? It's such an attention grabber.
Oh my God.
I've had to
Molly, if you want to speak.
I've put some serious boundaries in place myself. I mean,
woo, it's bad.
What are those things called? Boundaries?
I
haven't figured those out yet.
Yeah, still working on it.
I did very strategically make the decision to MC a room twice from 2 a.m. until 5 a.m. to cover, because we were doing this thing where we were hitting the goal of being the longest running Clubhouse room, which was 15 days. And so I was like, sure, I'll get up and do it from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., which I'm glad that I did it. I connected with a bunch of people, and I am putting the kibosh on that because I can't do it much. I can't do it anymore. But I'm glad that I did, right in the beginning to kind of really lay my stake in the ground that I was committed to Clubhouse. And now I am being very careful about the boundaries that I set with it, because I have amazing children and I have actual clients that I am serving. So the boundaries are important.
Yeah, Caleb says.
It's so weird though. Like you wander into a room and there's Mr. Beast there with his entire management team and 8 of the top YouTubers in the world, all sharing their growth tips, and you just want to stay there for as long as they keep talking.
Yeah.
Well, and
I left my bed. I was under my in the bed, and I was listening to that same room, and I was like, I can't do this. I have to get out of bed because I'm gonna fall asleep and be so upset. So I literally was walking around my house just so I could stay in that room. And when Daryl was like picking Mr. Beast to give detailed that, I was like, wait, he's gonna share that? I running to my notepad. I was like, it's 3:00 in the morning, and it's so addicting.
I did not know that room.
Same.
Okay, can we make a commitment between us guys that when there's a really good room, we tell each other?
Great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good point.
Because
Good
I
point.
missed that entirely, and now I'm very sad, very, very sad.
Well, and that's part of it. I think that is adding to it. There's a FOMO aspect, because it's like you don't want to leave the room even if you need to be somewhere, because there's no replay. You're not going to get that. So if somebody drops some amazing knowledge bomb, you don't know the next time you're going to have that opportunity to hear those tips. And so that's the piece. And so I've had to, Molly is saying, and I have found myself in that. I was like, I'm going to go on for 15 minutes and just listen while I have some time.
Yes.
3.5 hours later,
No.
and I ended up help hosting a room. But I mean, I just think it's crazy. I'm still really intrigued about the possibilities of it. I think as it grows, it will absolutely have to evolve and change, because I mean, you guys, we got to get some stuff done.
Go ahead, Molly.
Well, they had the DA for San Francisco.
Oh, sorry. Let's take Molly while I have her unmuted.
And then I'll go back on mute. The word that I keep repeating to myself is JOMO, which is the joy of missing out. And the more we can celebrate JOMO, the more we'll find balance with it. JOMO. joy of missing out.
Well, and that's because
I host a podcast called FOMO Fans for a reason, right? Like, I am a fan of FOMO. I live in a world of FOMO. I embrace it. I don't have boundaries. I don't believe I'll ever get on the app with 15 minutes. I just have decided that it's all or nothing at the moment. And but there is definitely an intervention. My girlfriend, we're in a long distance relationship, and twice she's like, if you hit end to me calling on video chat one more time, we're gonna have a problem. I was like, oh, that's a good point. I need to go hit accept on that real quick.
FOMO YOLO.
That's hilarious.
Okay. So Rene, did you? Okay, I think we covered all of that, right? And I was just going to say about the joy of missing out. Like this came up for me. I haven't heard you say that, Molly, until you said it to Kim Garst, who needed sleep because she hadn't had any sleep, and then she was like, "Oh man, I missed out on last night's Jeff Walker and everybody else." And you said, no, joy of missing out. And I was like, well, that's a really beautiful thing because you then get to live the life and you get to take part and have the joy of your life as well as all of this other stuff. So, okay, we are taking questions. I just want to make sure everybody knows this. If you guys have questions, be sure to put a Q in front of your question. Otherwise, it doesn't get to my queue. So we have Stephanie coming in, possibly Kim, possibly Rob from TubeBuddy. We have a bunch of people coming in, so I want to make sure that while we have you guys here, that we get some more questions in. Patrick Chang says, just got my Stream Deck Mini, love it. Do you guys use one? Do you use it outside of live streaming? Oh, did Molly leave? Mm-hmm. Molly left us. Okay, hold on. The question was, you use it outside of live streaming. What other productivity hacks can you share with everyone? Patrick, I just want to say real quick, like I always say, get the XL because you're gonna regret it. But Kat Mulvihill, who's in the chat room right now, is one of our students, and she did an amazing coaching session or training session inside of our Streamer Accelerator program. So if you are a part of that, I can't remember if you are or not, you have to go watch that because she did an incredible training session on the little one and how she uses it for Zoom and other applications. But Brian, you have one.
I do. I love it. But we talked about this a little bit last night too. I have 5 different lavalier microphones. I have 6 cameras set up in the office at the moment, but I like being able to switch via software. I've always been a fan of software switching, so I've set my environment to embrace what the Stream Deck has to offer. I do use it for all the virtual events. I did about 70 virtual events last year. Actually, 72, I believe, was the total amount when we were doing the reverse engineering. And I used it a lot for that. For me, not only switching between cameras in Ecamm, which of course is nice, but being able to have things queued up. Like I have, for me, having the folders and being able to go a level down. So not only like when someone's like, oh, what podcast do you have? Being able to have that easily there, even though I'm giving like a virtual keynote. So for me, I've really liked it. It's one of those things that, I have more USB dongles and things on my desk than ever you need, but I'm a fan.
What about you guys? Rene, what do you use?
I'm constantly being tempted by a Stream Deck, but I haven't taken the plunge yet. I'm using an Atom Mini ISO right now. That's as far as I've gotten.
And
you don't, Mel, because you're using StreamYard.
Yeah, I don't use, I'm like Rene, I've been very tempted. I've been tempted, like every day I'm tempted to get it. And hey, Billy, thanks. So literally I used to be really bad about bright, shiny objects, like really, really bad. And I have gotten a lot better. Yes. And I'm kind of like embracing this whole like, no, not yet kind of thing. And so there's a lot of things like I want to really dig into, but I'm also like busy right now. And so the Stream Deck is something that I think I will absolutely eventually be investing in. But I also know that comes with some time and some commitment to learn it and how to incorporate it. But I do see a lot of potential with it. There's a lot of people that use StreamYard that still use a Stream Deck. So there's plenty of ways you can incorporate it into the level 2 environment. But I mean, I'm certainly intrigued by it. I definitely think that it's going to be in my future. And as you keep saying, Luria, don't get the little one. I will. Brian, you have the little one. Is that what you had? Is that what you showed us? Yeah. So I'll probably end up getting the bigger one. Although, I mean, I'm kind of like, do I need the big one though? How do you decide if you need the big
Yoda
one?
Version.
Yeah, how do you decide though? I mean, truly.
Well,
Brian,
okay.
do you regret having a little one?
I don't, but I use the folders and the second layer like really.
Yeah,
like I have that
you have
very
to.
like. So you have to, like, for me, that's like the piece, right? And I think if you're doing your own production, which is mostly what I do, I think the big one makes just sense, right? Like you should just get it because there's that landscape. Because I find myself like looking over and like folder, second button. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a second, didn't I use this so I don't have to hit one button? Like all of a sudden now I'm hitting 3 buttons to do something that I incorporated a tech gear for that. So yeah, I probably would have got okay, truth be told, they sent it to me. So I didn't pick, they sent it to me as a gift. So I didn't really pick which either one. So for free, I will take whichever one I can get in that department.
There she is.
We've got Stephanie.
Hold on. Streamer sisters.
Streamer sisters, unite! Wow, your hair. Girl, what'd you do different?
I was like, well, it's live Stream-o-Palooza. I want to be a little sassy today.
I love it. I'm going to have you introduce yourself real quick, or in a second, but real quick, I want to finish answering the Stream Deck question. So the reason, like, I'm too lazy to be like Brian, you know, and go to the folders, and I just don't want to mess with that. So, like, this is my profile for today, and I literally just have 3 ones open. So the answer for me is yes, you absolutely need one. Ooh.
Somebody posted, this is a situation. This is one of those times that size matters.
Oh, geez. Yes, size matters in this case. Stephanie, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Wait.
Yes.
Stream-o-Palooza! Thank you so much for being here. Introduce yourself to everybody, and then we'll take more questions.
Yes. Hey, everyone. I'm Stephanie Liu. I'm the host of Lights, Camera, Live, and Digital Confetti, which is why I always freak out with the confetti.
I know. I need to get you the confetti.
Yeah. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yeah. So I help brands go from unknown to unforgettable by leveraging live video. So I try to bring the excitement. I feel like that's like my thing. Brian has his multi-hyphenated goodness, swagnificent, all that good stuff. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. All right. Reset. Oh, God. I just...
You almost said reset the room.
You just reset the room?
I did.
Whoa.
Like,
Hey.
how many years of
Steph
live
is admitting
streaming
that you have
and
a
like a
problem.
month of Clubhouse and
Whoa.
you've been converted?
Oh,
This
What
should
did
be
you
one of
just
those
say,
things,
Rene?
Luria, where you look at your apps
The first
and you
step
should
is
see like how many apps you're spending your time on right now.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
No,
see.
let's not do that.
It's all Clubhouse. It's all Clubhouse stuff.
It's all Clubhouse. Okay, so I am going to reset the room. And if you just joined us, welcome. We have a rotating guest list today because it's Stream-o-Palooza, and we are having a great time today answering your questions, having amazing discussions, tips, tricks for live streaming. So if you have a question, be sure to put a Q in front of your question. Don't ask the same question twice, but if you do have a question and you don't want to wait, Super Chats do take priority. All right, let's get to the next question. Oh God, I lost my place. Hold down. Sha-la-la-la-la Productions says predictions for 2021. What do you see exploding in live streaming? Yeah, that was the question. All right, whoa, predictions. So I'm gonna let Stephanie go first this time, and then we'll go backwards.
I'll definitely say that live shopping is going to be a thing.
Yeah.
With most people shopping online, getting comfortable from doing it from the comfort of their own home, I'm seeing a lot of brands, like one of my partners is LiveScale, and they work with like Louis Vuitton and all the different fashion houses, and all the beauty brands are really all about live shopping and off of the platforms like Facebook and YouTube. They're thinking about live streaming where you can white label it and connect it to your Shopify store because there's so much powerful analytics behind that. So for those of you that have a course, services, merch that you want to promote, then live shopping, I feel like that's really going to expand and evolve this year.
Okay, sorry. So we have another guest. Kim Garst just joined. Does anyone want to step out for a second?
I'll jump out.
Okay.
I'll jump out.
Brian, I'm so sorry. Do you want to say?
No, you're good.
Do you want to?
Hey, you guys rock. Keep
Okay.
rocking. You're good.
Thank you so
I'll
very
probably
much
go
for
get. I'm
hanging.
probably gonna be on Clubhouse. So you know,
We know where to find you,
You're on
Brian.
Clubhouse right now.
You can find
Busted.
Brian at Fanzo, and let everybody know where they can find you.
iSocial fans, everywhere and anywhere. And website is brianfanzo.com. And check out the new podcast. Season 2 just dropped yesterday. Press the damn button. So check that out on all your podcast players. But yeah, cheers, guys. You guys rock.
Yes.
And tell Kim I said hello.
Will do.
See you, Brian.
Thank you. Now, everybody, be aware of the fact that, and I should have been saying this all along, we have all of the guests' links in. Kim go?
Uh-oh. You were leaving us on the edges of our seats.
I know.
Come
Wait.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
We're
gosh.
just gonna have a blank spot for a second. While we figure out Kim. So what was I saying? Yeah, links to all of our guests today are in the description. Please, please, please follow them, enjoy them, participate in their communities, because these are the top of the top in the industry, and I just freaking love them. They are my friends. Okay, hold on. I think Kim is coming back. Predictions. Rene.
So I think there's two possible arcs going through. One is going to be what would happen normally just as the industry continues to grow. And the other depends entirely on how much we're all forced to stay at home and how long we're forced to stay at home. And I think if that's the case, more and more of the things that we really miss from the real world are going to keep going more virtual. Like I think we've seen major companies like Apple and Samsung figure out the online event. And I don't think it'll be long before that filters down and people make them far more interactive with the shopping. But I think even stuff like all your community stuff, everything that you used to do with your neighbors, people around town, watching movies together, cooking together, I think there's a huge opportunity just to make everybody feel human and connected again.
I love that. And I saw so many people in 2020 try and create a format for like live events and stuff. And I don't know, nothing ever really hit like they were. I don't think like they were hoping that it would. Kim! Oh wait, hold on. We have an echo, Kim. I've muted you. Do you have headphones in? Oh, Kim! Shame.
Wah, wah. Foghorn.
That's okay. I have you. Wait, hold on. I have something for this, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's a little bit. That's a celebratory thing. This is like the yeah.
No, I don't have anything. So while Kim gets settled, then I'll unmute her when she gives me the thumbs up. Okay, Kim? But what I was saying is I don't think anybody really figured out like a format that can really create that connection. People tried, breakout rooms, and people tried all kinds of different formats to use on Zoom. What do we think that will happen with formatting and create? Oh, maybe she works. Are we good?
I don't know. Do you still hear the echo?
Yeah, echo and horrible mic. Okay, just change the mic out. I've muted you. Sorry. We'll get this. It's Stream-o-Palooza! All right, so about formatting, like, do we really think that somebody will figure out and crack that code?
I went to Sean Kennel's event, the Grow with Video Live, and I think he actually did a really good job with his, because he had it on this platform that was designed for virtual events, whereas other people were trying to hack it. And he actually had a production for it. I think, I don't want to name conferences, but there was like this one conference where like the platform couldn't handle or support the actual demand of how many people wanted to be a part of that specific conference. But I think Sean did a fantastic job in creating breakout rooms, VIP sessions, and it was all in this thing. And it had an app, which I thought was really cool, because then you could follow up with the speakers. You could download the slides. I don't know what platform he used, but for anyone that's interested in doing that, like, talk to him.
Yeah, we talked to Sean and his team right when they were kind of in the planning stages of that, and they were going all out for that. And so, it was. You're right. I think that I didn't actually get to attend the event itself, but from what I could see from the behind the scenes and the early conversations that I had with his team, like, they were going to rock it. So it's good to hear that they did rock it. So yeah, maybe we'll have Sean on to talk about that later.
Bring on Sean.
Yeah. I think that to your point, the format going to change? I do think the format's going to change because like you were saying, we saw this year, like Stephanie was saying, we saw people trying to come up with a way to replace the in-person conference because they had to make the change, and it was an unplanned change. Whereas this year, going into the year, people are, I hope, being a little bit more proactive and knowing we're a ways away from these big conferences still. And so so I think that the platforms are also starting to respond. I mean, we just this week, there was the big announcement that Hopin, which is a virtual event company, acquired StreamYard, which is a streaming software. And so that right there is a sign and a signal that, there are going to be some format changes. And I've been able to see some really, as Stephanie said, I will not name any names. I've been able to see some productions where the tech could not handle it. The format couldn't handle it. The chat that you can't even it makes you want to go dizzy because you can't read any comments. And then I've been in some events where they were put on by a platform that was almost intended to replace that in person with breakout rooms. And it was actually a good experience. So I do think that we'll see some improvements in that department, but there's also going to be big money there too. So it's all going to kind of come down to, I think where I'm looking at that is, how do you charge how do you price it? You know what I mean? Because it's a different experience when you're sitting at home on a computer versus being in person, but yet then the value is you don't have to travel and you can maybe spend more money on the ticket to the conference, so that's an interesting area that I'm kind of I'm curious to see how that goes.
Yeah.
So.
Dave Curley in the house. Okay, so we've got lots of comments. Thank you guys so much for participating in these conversations. I want to get to the next question, and I think we might have another guest. Kim, unfortunately, doesn't have headphones with her, so we're going to have to lose Kim. But her hair was amazing.
I know, she just did that, didn't she?
Yeah. Had to have, because I just saw her on a live stream recently.
Uh-huh.
So we'll have her back on another. Are you guys enjoying this? Let me ask you this. Are you enjoying Stream-o-Palooza? Because if you are, Rene.
Make it rain.
Make it rain. If you are, then we'll schedule more of these types of things in the future.
I put extra
Friday
hairspray in my hair
ever.
today because I knew there was going to be a lot of movement.
Yes.
I knew there was going to be lots of dancing and movement. So,
Nice.
Extra hairspray today.
All right, let's go to the next question, which is Kat says, silly question for Rene as a Canadian. So you pronounce process as process or process?
I mean, it depends on what area you're in. I'm in Montreal, so the French language has canceled so much of the Canadian accent. So I don't say I don't say process, I don't say about. But if you go to Toronto and then Vancouver, you got to listen to Peter McKinnon and Linus Tech Tips, Linus Sebastian, and then you'll get the full range. Not the Maritimes are even another story.
Oh, that's funny. She said, should have said, do you, so you. What? I think Kat's already drunk. No.
She's had more than one Truly already.
We love you, Kat. I don't know what that meant. Okay.
It's appropriate in some time zone.
Huh? It's appropriate sometimes.
That it's appropriate for her to be drinking in some time zone or another.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't need a time zone to drink early in the day. I don't.
Internet Standard Time.
I mean, I don't.
I like that one. Internet Standard Time. All right, next question is from Eric. What's the status with Ecamm and Mac M1? Tried yesterday with the latest version, but it got stuck all the time, so I'm back with Intel. A lot of people are having a lot of success with the M1. Rene was on thank you, Stephanie, that worked so much better, was on a show recently here where we talked about the M1 in depth. So you might want to go watch that. But Rene, have you seen any issues? Like I've only seen a couple of people say they have issues.
No, I think if you watch that show or you just listen to the advice, we'll often tell you get 16. No one ever regretted getting too much RAM, because you will start to get RAM pressure. You will start to rush out. And I think a lot of people just decided that M1 meant they didn't have to buy RAM anymore, and it's really, really not the case. So get like follow Luria's advice, get a spec'd out machine, and that way you won't have to worry about stuff like this.
All right. Hopefully that answers that question. We have somebody trying to come in. So me and my multitasking hands are going to throw the next question at you guys. Bill, rookie question. How does one go about tracking down echo in audio? I'm on Ecamm and I'm running a mixer into iRig Stream audio interface. Rene, you want to tackle that one or?
I mean, my only solution, I default back to the most primitive thing possible, and that is you bring everything down to your most basic configuration. If you don't have any echo, you add one more thing, and you keep doing that until you find the echo, and then that thing is the problem. It's a complete brute force approach, but it always works.
Hey, this is Stream-o-Palooza. Okay, next Stream-o-Palooza, I'm going to have Callie here working the background stuff.
There you go.
New plan.
We can vamp for you. We can totally vamp for you.
Yes, you totally could, for sure. I'll throw this next one out because this could be total vamping here. Sammy asks, why did you start going live? So we'll start with Stephanie and go round table. You just guys control it while I get the next guest on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's give her some time, right? All right. So I started live streaming because it was a necessity. So I'm an ad agency veteran. I've been in the ad agency world for the last decade and a half. And when I left the agency world because my husband and I were expecting a child, I was like, yeah, I'm going to start my own agency. But I had to separate myself from the sea of sameness because everyone else was calling themselves a social media strategist. And I was like, hold up, I got to work with Nike Clinique and Sephora, right? Let me show you what I can do. And the best way for me to do that being a new mom was let's do live unedited video. Because then that way I could give you a behind the scenes look of how things actually work. And so for me, it was a necessity because everyone else, when they were like, oh, I'm thinking about it, or I need to have like the new gear first before I start doing this, I was like, no. I'm gonna show you how to get the gears working up here. That's how I'm going to start my show. And that was the difference that made the difference. Live streaming helped me become top of mind and tip of tongue, and I was able to build recurring revenue with agency clients as soon as I put in my notice. So for me, live streaming was a necessity to stay out of the sea of sameness.
I did actually hear that while multitasking. That was beautifully said. Go ahead, Mel.
No, I was just going to say, yeah. But Rene, what about you?
For me, I was newly hired at an Apple blog, and my boss, who was then Dieter Bohn, now works at The Verge, was doing every 2 weeks podcast, and I thought that was terrible for attention, but he wouldn't let me do something else, so I pitched a live stream instead. And I'd literally been watching Luria and Justine Azaric going live, so we put these Ustream windows together. You couldn't do multi-person, so we had each our own Ustream embed on the same web page. You had to go to that one web page to watch us all barely in sync. And then I got hooked on doing all podcasts live, and we've just always done our podcast live since then. And I was lucky enough to see Luria again at CES for a couple of years and watched how she did it and how she was so interactive with the audience and engaging and asking them questions. And it just made the show so much more alive, had so much better energy, so much better participation. I never wanted to do a podcast any other way again.
That's awesome. I love it.
And he's rocked it ever since.
So for me, similar to Stephanie, I started my own company in 2014 to help local small businesses with their social media. So I was kind of like a social media expert, right? So when some new social media thing happens, I have to learn it, right? And so I actually, out of necessity, started dabbling in it when you literally had to use a phone and the video was in square format. You had to be in portrait mode. It was like the very, very, very beginning of Facebook Live. And I was really just dabbling into it to figure it out. But where it really started to change for me, where I really started embracing it, was because I started experiencing, I hate writing copy. I don't enjoy that. I can create graphics, I can do stuff, but for me to type words and for my energy to come out in my words, it is flat, right? It just doesn't happen. And so the reason why I loved live video is because I felt like I could really show up for my audience and I could create that polarizing effect. Like, hey, I literally was like drinking beers on like the first live videos I was doing just for fun. But also I was like, if you don't like that I drink beer at 2:00 in the afternoon, we're probably not going to be a good fit to do business together either. Because, so I liked the polarizing effect of I could really show myself and show up and people connected to me or they detracted, and that is fine. So for me, I became almost like obsessed and loved it because I felt like it was the most engaging type of content where I could really show up and show my personal brand and just, again, my energy. Like that's part of who I am. And so being video and being on live, because pre-recorded video, and Luria knows this, I hate it. It's like I overthink it. I try to make it perfect. But when you're live, go. So that's why I started. I mean, seriously. Yeah.
You're like a streaming soulmate. Everything that you just said, I'm like, that was me. That was totally me.
Yeah.
Streaming sisters, unite! Yeah. Rene,
Oh, that was
both so
perfect.
amazing
That
at
was perfect timing. That's
It was.
Renee, what? We've got a little delay with him.
I said that's why you're also great at it though, because it's your passion.
Yeah, we're gonna make Renee an honorary streaming sister.
Yes.
Is that okay?
I'm honored. I am totally honored.
Awesome.
Love it.
This whole panel has amazing energy. I want to answer that question myself, but real quick, Christopher Steiner has a comment that's way too big to throw on screen, so I'm just going to read it. Stephanie, this is to you. I love to geek out. You are truly the key I use to turn on my engagement with my subscribers, open the floodgates to my creativeness, and unlock my true potential.
I love that. I know, right? Reach in there, get that hug. That's awesome.
Oh, but what was really cool yesterday, that was an amazing comment. Last night on Clubhouse, what happened?
So Justin Guarini from American Idol, which was like what, 2014? I don't
The
remember.
original.
Yeah.
But he had joined our Clubhouse room, and I'm like on the Peloton while I'm on this Clubhouse thing, right? And then Luria brings him up to the stage, and he's like, "Oh yeah, and Stephanie, I really love that ACEs framework that you just shared." And I was like, he was pedaling, like, "Oh my god, you know me."
He said, I
And
wrote down notes from you, Stephanie. He was like,
That's so awesome. That workshop, though,
So awesome.
was like fire.
Uh-huh.
It was so good. I shared it in my community, and I was like, you have to go reserve an hour. This is a workshop. This should be, you have to pay for this, but it's free. Go watch this. It was so good, Stephanie. So good.
you're muted, dude.
What happened? You
what?
muted.
Oh, it was because when I get really excited, I want to like breathe really hard into the mic, like with the whole American Idol thing. But yeah, no, my whole team was like, yeah, this needs to be a masterclass. If you got like that raving reviews in like 30 minutes, just imagine what it would be like when you go in depth. And I was like, yeah.
Do you have a
was
link
good.
to that workshop?
Oh, it's being created. I should probably
Okay.
make like a
A waiting list?
be a,
Would
yeah.
be
Oh,
nice.
thank you.
Yeah.
This is why you're also amazing.
Sign up for the wait list. Do it
Yes.
now.
For now, you can just follow her on social and make sure you're checking notifications because I'm sure she'll share it out when it comes out. So I'm going to wrap up that whole series of questions with answering the question myself. Why did I go live? That was, I think, what we were talking about. Thank you. Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks, Stephanie.
We're always working on that.
I know,
right?
always. It's just a never-ending effort. Never-ending. So I went live back in 2007. So I had started content creation with recorded video in 2005. And the reason I went live was a little different than everybody else, but like I wound up getting asked to co-host a TV show, Call for Help with Leo Laporte, and that was live to tape at the time. Now we say live to drive. But when I was asked to co-host this TV show, it was the scariest thing I'd ever done. I was like, what do I do? Because up to that point, which was like 6 months, I had just been like all prompted, and I was so fearful of saying anything off script. I had to make sure that because I didn't know what I was doing on camera. And so the experience of being off script and having to say something intelligent sounding on camera without my preparedness, then that freaked me out. So I did it, and I stumbled my way through it, and I got through it, and everybody said I did a fantastic job. I thought I did a horrible job. That should tell you something about the content you're creating. You think about it differently than everybody else perceives it. But after that experience, I was like, I got to figure this out, because I'm not the kind of person that allows herself to be bad at something. Like, I'm all in or all out. So if I am bad at something and I don't want to get good at it, then I'll just leave it behind, right? Yeah.
I'm going to say something, because I remember when you and I were talking once, and I was like, yeah, that was really good. And the first thing that she said to me, she's like, oh, it wasn't great? I was like, what? No, like, I was like, come on, Luria. I was like, you're awesome. You're amazing. What are you talking about? Yeah, that's what I've definitely learned about Luria, is that words of affirmation about how badass she is. I was like, oh, you're a total badass. Like, if you need reminding, I will remind you just how awesome and amazing you are.
I have to be the best.
You are a legend.
That's exactly what you said. You're like, it wasn't the best.
No, you are a legend.
And I was like, what?
No, I was teasing you. Well, kind of. I was half
No,
teasing
she wasn't.
you.
No. Too late. Too late.
But that is...
And they played that show like 8 times a day in Canada, every day.
Oh, they did? 8 times a day?
Yeah, because I think it was produced in Canada, so it was on over and over again, like 8 times a day, every day for years.
Wow, Canadians must have gotten really sick of me. That's hilarious. Yeah, and
it was great.
I am a perfectionist, and we all are, right? And we need to feel like we're doing a good job in our content creation. So that's why I started streaming, because that experience of co-hosting that TV show was like so agitating for me in a way that I was like, I'm not good at this. I'm not comfortable. And so I need to get comfortable. So I started streaming from the first phone app in 2007. Rene remembers this, I know. The Quick, QIK. It was only available on a single phone, which was the Nokia N95. And so I bought a Nokia N95 so that I could stream. And then I started using Ustream and Justin TV and all of those things way back in the day. And so that's why I started streaming, just to be able to learn how to get comfortable off script.
Love it.
All right, lean into the discomfort as a way to grow. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Oh, man, such good questions today. Like, you guys are coming in strong. Next up, and Dee Nimmin is actually going to be joining us very soon. So look forward to that. And by the way, if anybody has to go, I know, actually, Stephanie, you're going to have to go soon, aren't you?
Yeah, 7 minutes.
Okay.
Dang it.
Okay.
Come on, Stephanie.
Then you're starting this
Limited time only. Answer your questions now. Now or never.
Okay, let me see if
then
I
it's
have
the weekend.
anything
It's a 3-day
specific.
weekend.
And I have
Now or
like a
until the
10-minute
next
call
time.
I'm going to be getting, but I can come back after.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Just head out, come back in, whenever, wherever, totally game.
I'm good.
There was a question from Stephanie, cheese plant or beanstalk?
I didn't even know that cheese plants exist.
What
the
is a
beanstalk.
cheese plant?
It's
Because
from
I
Kevin.
automatically
It's from
think-
Kevin.
I'm thinking Jack and the Beanstalk. And so
I
if
think
I
he's
wanna
talking
go up,
about your plant back there. That's my guess.
Oh.
Is he?
cheese stock is a real thing?
It's Kevin. It's our beloved Kevin McAleer. We love Kevin.
We do
Yeah,
love
I
Kevin.
think he's talking about that plant way over there in the corner.
I literally took that in a whole different direction. I was like Jack and the Beanstalk because I could climb it.
The format is cool and adding another dimension to live streaming pros of delving into the thought process behind live streaming, engagement, and rifting. I love that y'all are loving this. Yeah. Ooh, ow. Okay, Kevin does have a serious question, which I want Stephanie to answer before she has to go. But before you do answer it, tell everybody where they can find you. Link in the description too.
Yes, best place to find me is over at LinkedIn. Honestly, I'm going to throw this out now. LinkedIn, search for Stephanie Liu because I want to get the new LinkedIn stories swipe up.
Ooh, yeah. I love
So
it.
find me there.
I'm doing it
there.
now. I'm doing it now.
Okay.
Yes.
I got to get good at LinkedIn. Okay, real quick. Kevin says, what does success look like for you?
Oh, I love that. So, my core values in the context of my career is freedom, flexibility, and legacy. So, I want to create a legacy that empowers people to step into the spotlight and feel as if they could be themselves. And so, by me being adorkable on camera, I'm giving you permission to be yourself. That's like officially your permission slip. Me moving my hands, jumping around, tap, tap, tap. That's your permission for you to be yourself. And if I could build a legacy like that for the next generation, the next wave of content creators, then I will know that I have done my job successfully.
I love
It's beautiful.
that. Thank you so much, Stephanie. I'm going to let you go, and then we'll continue that. Have a good meeting. If you want to come back, you're more than welcome, but we'll have you back one way or another, some way. What was that?
Always.
Oh, she was so
Good. All right, bye.
Bye, everybody. Say bye to Stephanie. Adorkable,
Stephanie.
right?
I know. I've never heard that. It was awesome. Adorable.
Hold
That's
on.
amazing.
I gotta fix this. Gotta get Rene back here. This is the fun of being a one-person producer. Yay! All right, Rene, what about you when it comes to what does success look like for you?
I mean, it'll sound corny, but I just want to leave the world a better place than I found it. And if I can do that moment by moment, by trying to recognize and amplify the work of the people around me who are doing good, who are doing, both good and actual good in the world. And, you can make everyone happy, healthy, and prosperous. If I can leave the world just a little bit better, I'll be really, really content.
I love that. Mel.
Oh my gosh. Like all the strings right now, the heartstrings. For me, success, I mean, honestly, it's very similar. I think that we're all influencers. We want to influence people. We are here because we like to serve. We want to help people. I am very passionate about getting people to do things that I'm all about empowering people. Like I want to empower, especially women. I'm all about just empowering women to have the confidence and to take action because I just think that we have so much to overcome. We're sometimes our own worst enemy. And for me, I just, when I see women or anybody really go do something that they never even dreamed that they could do. So like, maybe they didn't even have the idea for themselves because they just don't allow themselves to be into that creative space. Like, for example, creating live productions. Like, I think a lot of female or business owners just don't even really consider it, or they see it, but they just can't even visualize themselves doing it. So when I can take somebody like that and then all of a sudden they're taking action or doing something because I, empowered them just simply through my story or by teaching them, that to me is success. When I see people go do things that they didn't know that they were capable of doing because I empowered them or did that. The other way I measure success, to be honest with you, is just are people finding joy just by being around me, honestly. Like I love to bring joy to people. I grew up being a silly kid. I was a mascot in high school. I like to entertain and I want to make people feel good and have fun and be happy and be joyous. So if I can make somebody smile, then that's a great day for me too. So that's kind of how I measure it.
I love that. And for me, that's that impact that you were talking about, or the empowerment is really where it's at for me as well, right along with the uniquely you concept, right? And making sure that people around me are able to break free of the traps that life has set for them and that are in their brain to be able to uncover who they really are. Because we don't really pay that close of attention to who we are as people or who we want to be, or that little voice inside of us. And so that's my my mark of success, is seeing that uncovered and allowing ourselves to say yes to us and no to other people's agendas. So
Love it.
Yeah. You guys are good at transitions. Why?
I
Thank
apologize,
you.
Luria. I have a 10-minute emergency call I have to do. Is that okay if I pop off and come right back?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll
Okay,
see you
I'll be right
soon.
back.
Okay, we have questions specifically for
Sorry.
you. All right, Renee is going to come back soon. Hold on, tight, really quick. All right, there we go. We didn't need that. I know. So much good info in one show. We've got more people coming, by the way. Dee Nimmin is coming soon. I think Jeff C. might be trying to come in soon. We've got Rob from TubeBuddy who might be joining us. Roger Wakefield is going to be trying to join us.
Whoa.
This is, just like all of the people. Okay, so next question is for Renee, so I'm going to have to come back to that. Let's see. Will Roberts says, I'm setting up Stream Deck, but cannot find the hotkeys on the far right. I know that they were there. Let me show you the Stream Deck. I'm gonna go into demo mode real quick.
Yep,
Here we
go for it.
Okay. So hold on. Not supposed to show comments on screen. That's a tip for you. Don't show comments on screen because you never know what's coming. It's not a very good option for you because you never, ever know if trolls are there or trying to do whatever. I didn't even see if there were any, but just a good tip for you. Okay, so you were saying that the Stream Deck can't find the hotkeys on the far right. So that's in system. So it's not in the eCam. You're gonna go to system, and then here's the hotkey right here. So you can drag a hotkey right there into your Stream Deck software. So hopefully that helps. Let me know if that works out for you, Jasper. Okay. Next question, Jay, trying to set up a set for interviews with somebody in person. I want a 3-camera setup using A6100 cameras. I'm using a 16mm wide for 16mm lens for a wide shot. What lens should I achieve close up on me and my guests? Well, so if you're going to be sorry. Hold on. I just saw a weird message come in. I'll tackle that in a second. That was an awkward pause. So what you want when you're thinking about, we've got the wide shot, you can always zoom in if you don't want to buy an additional lens. But then if you want to get closer, I use so my other camera, my prompter camera is a 56mm. I also had a 34mm on that one, and each gets closer and closer, right? So like the 34mm was a good width, but then the 56mm lens gets really that gets like probably right here, kind of on me, and that's the shot, and it's pretty close. So hopefully that gives you some guidelines there. We do have some videos on the YouTube channel about, lenses and stuff like that. And we'll have more training on that coming up soon.
You and I have talked about the lens because I have the A6100 with the kit lens. So that's what I have. And I'm still dialing in the settings. But we were talking because obviously that 16mm 1.4 or whatever it is, I forget what it is. That's going to blur out the background. That's what you have on your camera right now, right, Luria?
16mm, yeah.
Yeah, and so that blurred background. So I would like to have a blurrier background. However, I think you were telling me that because it is that wide angle, it's also going to pull in more stuff from my scene. So is there a way to use that lens? Because it's not a zoom lens. So I would have to literally put the camera closer to me if I wanted to cut out some of that other stuff. Because in StreamYard, I can't zoom, right? So,
right.
I don't know. What? Streamer sisters, unite again!
And we got Renee coming back in. Yay! Oops, wait. Hold on. I think I just assigned him to
I'm zoomed in.
I know. Hold on. I did that because of Brian.
My head is massive.
Hold on. There we go. Did that fix it? There we go. All right, bringing Rene back as well. Now I got to get Stephanie back. This is all just mix and match.
Now she's up.
Magic.
Hold on. Are you happy now? My goodness.
I'm happy now.
She's such a
Yes.
diva.
My client was on Internet Standard Time, so we were off by an hour. And I was like, well, I was having a good time with everyone, so I wanted to come back.
I'm glad you came back. And Rene is back. That was a quick 10-minute
sorry
haul.
about that.
Oh, why are you
Yeah, it
apologizing?
went faster.
Good.
They told me 10 minutes, and then it was just much quicker.
Awesome. That's always a
Nice.
good thing. So, Rene, we had some questions for you. Jasper wanted to know, how far away is your back wall from you? Secondly, what is the second round lights with string sitting on the shelves? I'm going to go to Rene full screen if I can figure out which camera he is. There we go.
And Rene, share with all of us what is your setup, like what camera and lens and all that stuff too, because that obviously plays a factor.
All right, so it's ridiculous. So please don't judge me based on this setup. I'm using my living room, and I'm in a very oddly shaped room, so it's very long. So I'm doing the opposite of what a lot of people do. I have a Canon C500 II Cine camera that I use for my YouTube videos.
Oops.
That I plugged into an ADA Mini so I can pump it into web video, which is ludicrous, but it seems to work. So it's a 6K camera downsampled to 4K, and it's got a 25 to 70 millimeter Canon lens on it. So that wall is actually quite far behind me, and that's the reason I'm using a long lens instead of a wide angle, because you would see literally the ends of the room. Sorry, I apologize. That you see the ends of the room if I was on a wide angle, like a 24 or smaller lens. And that behind me, so that's about 10, 12 feet behind me. And those are, the colored lights are Quasar Science. What looks like circle lights are actually 2 discount spotlights I got at a clearance sale at a lighting store that were like $10 each. And I
Nice.
put Hue bulbs into them and turned them backwards. So they're actually spraying light on the wall behind me. And that's the back of the wall. And I think Justine is doing the same thing now. I think it's like super trendy to do lighting wrong. It just makes it look cool.
To do
Why am I massive again, Lord? Are you getting me back
Because
because
D
of
is
the
the
green
way.
screen that I mentioned yesterday?
Oh, love it. All right, Kat, I see your comment. Thank you.
I don't hear Luria. Did I lose her?
Yep.
I was
lost you
muted.
too.
I was muted. Sorry.
I was gonna say I lost
I
everything.
pulled a
testing us.
Stephanie.
Wait, where's my green screen? Did this
Shots
plant
fired.
fall on me?
What she's referring
Dee and I
to.
are just dodging.
Yeah.
Trying
What
not
did
to
I
get,
come
not to
into?
get
What did I walk
collateral.
into? Maybe I'll just wait. I'll wait for you guys to figure this stuff out, and I'll come back.
Welcome, Dee.
Welcome
everybody
to the
doing?
show.
Yeah.
So excited to have you join us. For anybody who doesn't know you, introduce yourself, and then we'll keep answering questions and having a goofball of a time.
Hello, my name is Dee Nimmin. I have a YouTube channel where I help mobile content creators and mobile live streamers. So if you're doing everything on your phone, head over to my YouTube channel when you're finished with this live stream, and I'm happy to help you out.
And all of the links to all of our guests as they rotate in and out are in the description. So I actually woke up this morning and I was like, I'm going to be so awesome, and I'm going to put all of their names on them, and I'm going to change them out when every time somebody comes in and out, I'm going to change out their names, because I was like, I really want everybody to identify who's on this panel. And then I was like, yeah, no, that's never going to happen.
That sounds
Sounds horrible.
That would be nice to have an option like that in Ecamm. Maybe we could shoot an email over to the devs where it's
Yeah.
just like, can we have just type in the name, make it simple?
would-
Like if we
I
don't
wouldn't
want to
think
do
it would be
graphics?
hard.
Well,
because-
actually, I just thought of this.
Because you can in StreamYard.
Hold on.
I mean, I display names. You type your name and I turn it on or turn off, and it's there. But now
they
it's
do
not
have
custom.
that function, but because of my overlay,
Yeah, that's
it's not coming in. Anyway, okay, Dee in the house. So welcome back. All right, I don't know if we were in the middle of a question, but we're just going to move on to the next one. Will Roberts. No, I already answered that.
He had a follow-up question about that, though.
Oh, did he?
I think so. Let me look for it real fast.
Okay.
He said something about the right. No, just go on. Just go.
Okay.
On. Just go on.
Kevin McClear, dude, just all of the amazing questions. Okay, Dee is also on Clubhouse, so we've got a Clubhouse full room. What?
I literally just shut a room down.
I know.
I closed a room full of like 130 people to come in here.
No, you didn't.
Oh.
I'm checking.
Oh yeah, we had like Pat Flynn and Caleb Box and Daryl Leaves. Like we had a room of people, and I'm like, guys, I gotta bounce. I gotta go live with Luria.
No, you didn't.
Yes.
You didn't have to do that, but man, I feel special.
No, that place is
on
a
Luria
it's awesome.
Clubhouse. Luria
That's right.
Clubhouse.
Priorities, Luria. Priorities.
I saw that room.
Priorities.
Double Nimmin.
Did you check Rene to see if he was still on Clubhouse?
I'm checking right now.
We're gonna keep you
He put
accountable.
Viper in charge and left.
Do we have it?
I shut it down. Completely shut it down.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I
Well,
was in there before I had hopped on early at 10:30 because I was like, hey, it's all of them.
Seriously, nobody tells me about the good
Daryl
rooms.
Leaves is locked in a room. Daryl Leaves is locked in a room now and can't get out. Is that what you're telling
Yeah.
me?
Well, that's where we keep him. We keep Daryl Leaves in a box like a genie, right? When we need him, we just open it up. Daryl, well, how do you do this? Tell me about YouTube Shorts.
Algorithm.
Yeah.
John wants to know, wrong comment, can Dee put on a baseball hat so he will look like Renee's twin?
I can.
He's got Nick for that. He doesn't need me. He's got Nick for that.
There we go. Nice.
Oh.
Look at the beauty right here on this stream.
There it is.
I actually have a jacket like Renee's, but it
This is because I have shelter in place hair. I haven't had a haircut since March, so this is just.
Oh.
Hey, just cut your own like I did. Do it on live video.
I look like I did. I look like a Muppet. I had to put a hat on.
I got to
Save
that
it.
point, and y'all, I get this cut every 2 weeks. This takes maintenance. And so I literally got to the point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I texted my hairstylist. I said, I'm going to cut my own hair. I bought the clippers. So speak now or forever hold your peace, but give me some tips. She's like, oh my God, watch this video first. So I watched this video of this guy. And then I was like, I'm doing this live because if I screw it up, at least everyone will know why my hair looks the way it does. So I
This is
cut it
content.
live on Facebook right there. It was pretty funny. It was great.
That's
And it
awesome.
worked.
I cut mine. I look like halfway between a mushroom and that really old, nasty Muppet that yells about the movie critics from the balcony. So I had to put on a hat.
the old men. Yeah.
Yes.
It's terrible. Why are we watching this?
Renee, I think we need to make our own YouTube channel where it's you and I, like old dudes up in a balcony. We can,
Yes.
green screen it, and we just like grumpy old men yelling at like movie reviews or something.
We watch
That
Mandalorian and just yell at
Yes. Yeah, this is fantastic. This is fantastic.
I would subscribe to that show.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to get us back on track. Because we just got a super chat and it's big.
Woo!
So apologize for covering up you guys on the bottom there. House of Dion coming in with a $10 super chat. You guys are amazing. Your videos on vMix are single-handedly the reason I was able to finally launch my own podcast. Thanks for what you do. Dude, that's amazing. Thank you so much for letting us know. I thought that was going to be a question. That was just an awesome statement. So congratulations. You are the one who took action and actually did the work. So all thanks deserves to you.
All kudos.
All kudos deserve no. All kudos belong
Have
to
you
you.
been
All our
drinking
bases
today, Luria?
belong to you.
Yeah. All our bases
Have
belong
you
to
been drinking
right?
today? I mean,
Oh, I don't know.
Can has cheeseburgers.
Is this water or
vodka, straight vodka.
okay?
Internet Standard Time. You do you, Luria.
Totally.
Internet Standard Time. That needs to be like a show name. Welcome to Internet Standard Time. We go
Yeah,
live whenever
love
we
it.
want to go live.
I love that.
Dee,
I've
shout
never
out-
heard that.
Shout out to the StreamYard cup. Mine's upstairs. I should have brought that one down for me too.
This is not a cup. This is a chalice. I mean,
It's huge. I know. I got it and I was like, whoa.
I eat cereal out of this.
I would eat oatmeal out of it. That's what I'm going to
It's
do.
huge.
I'm going to eat oatmeal out of
Yeah.
mine. It is. They're big.
You
They're
can
large.
bathe in that.
You can bathe part of yourself in this. And I may or may not have. I cannot confirm or deny that.
Luria,
Okay.
bring
Reel
us
it
back.
back in. Okay. So to reset the room, I'm just going to start saying that on live stream. I'm sorry.
Oh my
I'm just,
gosh.
what else
You
can
own
I
it. Do it.
We are answering questions and goofing off a little bit at the same time. So if you have questions, be sure to type a Q in front of them. My team is gathering those up so that I don't miss them. Don't ask your question twice. And super chats take priority. So if you have a question, you're like, I don't want to wait through all of this and I want to be at the top of the queue, super chat it, include the question, and we'll get right to you. Kevin, coming back to that question that we were going to answer a while back, who would be in your perfect room in Clubhouse, alive or dead? Dee, I'm going to you since you just came in.
Wait, are you saying that you would want me in your clubhouse room?
No.
Alive or dead?
Alive or
Because I will
dead. Either way.
I will choose
fine.
alive. I'm going to keep on living through. 2020 couldn't take me out. You're not going to take me out. Bring me in the clubhouse dead. It's not going to happen.
All right, fine. I'll put
You'll
my.
never take me alive. Yeah.
I'll never take you alive. No, you're supposed to answer the question.
Oh, what was the question? Who? Dead or alive?
We all know it's David Filoni. We all know that.
Ooh, man. Just like lock me in a room with a clubhouse with anyone dead or alive.
Yeah.
One person?
Uh-huh.
One person.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my goodness. That's so tough. John Lennon.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you know, I could, there's all kinds of people I'd love to bring in there. Gandhi. I don't know. Jesus. I don't know. let's just focus on John Lennon, all right?
Renee,
He's
what
basically
about-
both of them anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Renee, what about you?
I mean, I kind of live in the moment. So right now I'd answer like any one of you would be fantastic to just have a clubhouse chat with. Everyone else, I feel like, you know, if you go for the obvious, like the celebrity people, they're just going to let you down. They're going to do something horrible within 3 minutes and you're going to just not want it anymore. And yeah. So I think, any one of you here would be fantastic.
I agree. I'm gonna like just piggyback and just take his answer too, because like it is such in the moment, right? It's like I always hate that question because it's
Way
just
to
there's
make me
no
feel
good.
selfish. I just feel selfish now. You guys are like, oh, I just want to hang out with you.
Well, it's because you took John Lennon, so we had to improvise.
And then you upgraded to Jesus.
What are we gonna say, Paul? Ringo? No one's gonna pick
I don't
Ringo
know.
after that.
I don't know.
Okay, Mel.
Oh man, I'm gonna get weird. I'm gonna say, kind of like in the moment, right? Reba McEntire. That's who I'm gonna say. Reba McEntire.
You made it weird. You just made it
I
weird.
know. I wanted to make it weird. I know.
I see your Reba McEntire and raise you Kenny Rogers.
Okay, Stephanie. recover.
Oh gosh. I think because I love to live a life of joy and things that make me laugh. I think it would be fun to have my mom in a clubhouse room, like just getting her reaction of like,
Oh,
where are
yes.
these voices coming from? What's happening? Who is that? Who's Luria?
Yeah.
Why is she talking to me? I think it's always fun to get like my mom's reaction of like, what is it that Stephanie does? And like if something's like not working on Facebook, she's like, can you email him please? Because I'm trying to do something right now. And I'm like, yes, Mom, I'm just going to go email Mark for you. So I think having her on Clubhouse would just be really fun. Like parents of Clubhouse.
Oh
right?
man, you're onto something
That's so
there.
wholesome. That is so wholesome.
Oh, and she was also going to start a clubhouse room for Peloton. Peloton, is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Peloton.
Peloton users, like while
When
while
you said
you're
earlier
on the
Peloton,
bike.
I was like, you should do a clubhouse room of you're on Peloton.
Okay,
You should do that.
So that's what I was telling like everyone yesterday in the group. I was like, maybe I should just do a Peloton Clubhouse because I was really listening to the different rooms. But then I was like, but I would hate
Too
it
late.
if someone put me on stage and I'm just like panting.
Lots of breathing.
Kat says there's
Make it a
already a,
DJ
club.
thing.
Oh, there you go.
And if you could talk without panting, then people would say you're not working hard enough on your bike.
That's
what
true.
they would say.
That is a good point.
So it's a lose-lose situation. You're right.
Okay. Next question. We were talking about Facebook Live sales, like way earlier. Kay says, I do live Facebook sales now. What is the best way to do this, or where can I get more help?
Oh, interesting. So Facebook Live Shopping, if you're using the live shopping feature on Facebook, that's probably the best way to leverage that, because when you feature a product, it will actually show as an overlay within your actual live stream and direct people where they could buy right then and there. And then when you're live and people are watching on a desktop, it shows your product like just right there. So if your show gets shared a lot of times, like into other groups, Peloton groups, right? Then you can, Peloton gear, your product will follow along with that. So that's the best way to do it. If you're looking for more info on that, oh, I don't know if I told you this. So the Facebook product lead for live shopping had reached out because he had saw my original video, and he's like, oh, and PS, by the way, here's like a 45-page deck. And I was like, what? This is content gold. So I took that guide and then I mixed it in with the live show of what I learned. And so it's on lightscameralive.com right now if you want the full guide of how to go live with Facebook Live Shopping.
Love
Nice.
that. And if you don't use the Facebook, like let's say you're on YouTube and that's your platform of choice, excuse me, then there are multiple formats that you can run, and you don't have, if you can do it like where people, say claim a number. There are all kinds of different ways to run it. So you can claim a number, you can, that's how Amy Joy, one of my students, does it. She'll like hold up a piece of like a dress, and it'll have a number attached to it, and you claim that. What was that?
I don't know. I
Just
feel like
thought we
whenever
needed
people are, it's funny because whenever people talk, I don't just want to be like that head that just sits there. So I feel like I have to mime and gesture whenever you're speaking, and you're like, oh, she grabbed something. I was like, oh, this is the closest thing to me. Anyway, continue.
No, that's okay. I actually am going to be doing a stream on this soon about Facebook Live sales and those formats and what works, what doesn't. So go check out what Stephanie has. Join us soon for that as well. Paul Burke says, to grow a channel, we hear niche down or niche down, however you say it. Was there anything that you had to let go of talking about that you love to niche down and focus, or did you find a way to weave it into the niche? Oh, that's a great question, Paul. And for a little background, like Paul right now does a lot of a kind of a variety show. He's very funny, and he does like all of these different things. He plays games. He just chats. He is also very into improv and runs an improv class. So he's got all of these different like passions, and that's where this question is coming from. Dee, you want to take this one first?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has tons of different things that they're interested in. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I'm into cosplay, like Stephanie. Hello, hey. Right? I'm into cosplay. I'm into Star Wars. I love tinkering. I love making stuff. I love building things with my hands. I love tech. I love computers. I love phones. But when it came time to put my YouTube channel together, I had to think about, okay, well, where is a community that's not being served? And there were so many people already doing the things that I'm already interested in, and they're doing it so well.
Thank you, West Coast Chicano. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. So many people are doing things well, and there's amazing Star Wars channels, amazing cosplay channels. But when I opened my channel, even though there were channels focusing on things like apps and the latest phones, I couldn't find anybody that was focusing on helping mobile YouTubers, specifically mobile YouTubers. So I thought, okay, well, out of all the things I'm interested in, here's an audience that is not being served. So I jumped in there and started serving that audience, and that allowed me to grow really fast on the platform. Right? So for me, niching down was that was a key part of my success on YouTube.
Now, here's the thing, though. If you said that you started a channel that you couldn't find, a lot of people say, well, don't start a channel if no one else is doing that particular kind of content. So how did you navigate that? Thank you, Anar, for the super sticker.
Well, I mean, everybody has a different path. But just for me, it just seemed like I did a ton of research, and I was like, wow, there's nobody really focusing on this.
Yeah.
People would make a video here or there, but I'm like, I could focus on this. I could speak to these people directly, make all of my content speaking directly to that audience. And I didn't really care if somebody came along and also copied what I was doing. And I also didn't care if there were other people on the platform doing it that I just didn't find yet, because I have my own way of teaching. I have my own way of communicating. So that's what I focused on and went forward. Had I tried to do, here's here's how to use your phone to edit your videos. Here's how to go live with your phone. And here's how you build a Mandalorian costume. Like that just, I mean, I would have loved doing that, but that just wouldn't fly. Everybody raises their hand. But, that just wouldn't fly in terms of overall YouTube growth because if you're there to learn about, how to edit video with your phone, most people don't care about, how to paint a Mandalorian helmet or build something that has nothing to do with YouTube.
Yeah, and it's really important about the intent to know, learn about the intention of the viewer, right? This is something that Dee and I have talked about in the past, where if you are trying to do this and this and that, then one person is coming in, subscribing to you based on topic A, and then you throw out a topic C, and they're like, I have no interest in that whatsoever. I'm out of here, or I'm just not clicking on that video because that topic doesn't interest me, and that hurts you in the algorithm.
I actually didn't niche down enough. So I'm covering Android users and I'm covering iOS users, but you have Rene over here. He focuses on Apple. Yeah. He's known as, nobody covers Apple like Rene does, right? So what I've done is I've segmented my audience. I have Android users, I have iOS users. So if I upload an iOS video, if it's not cross-platform, Android users don't watch it, right? That hurts my click-through rate. They're not interested in that, so that means that they might not get notifications when my next video goes up. If I upload an Android video, the iOS users generally don't watch it. And then I screwed up again, and I segmented my audience even further, and I started doing little tips like how to activate dark mode on certain apps. Well, I just brought in a whole new group of people who are not interested in making content on their phone or live streaming with their phone. All they want to do is turn on dark mode. And I brought in thousands of people who want to learn little tips and tricks like that have no interest in making content or being YouTubers or content creators. So I segmented my audience 3 times, and it's definitely slowed my growth down. Had I stepped in and said, I'm focusing on iOS users, my channel would probably be 3 times bigger than it is right now. Easily.
That's a really, really, really good point. And Rene, you want to speak to that about being, that is what you are known for is Apple. And it has been for how long? 15 years?
Yeah.
Thank you, CK, for the super chat. She said this. I just want to see Stephanie pet the Abby pop up.
I love it. It's perfect.
I didn't even see that comment. I was just like, oh.
Yeah, Rene.
Yeah, so I was actually worried in the beginning too, and I spoke to Dee and Nick about it, like whether doing Apple was too much, and if I should just do iPhone, because maybe iPhone people don't care about Apple Watch or Mac or iPad, and they reassured me that they probably do because the ecosystem is so strong, and people typically do buy multiple products. But I tended to look at it, if I ran a restaurant, if I was a celebrity chef, I could cook anything I wanted. If you get to a certain size, you can see huge YouTubers, even when they do off-topic videos, because their audience is so big, they get tons of views, but compared to their regular on-topic videos, nowhere nearly the views. And it really is just meeting that expectation. So if you're doing it for you as a creative outlet, nobody should hesitate. Do anything you want. Like just express yourself, make 19 different kinds of videos in 19 days. But if you want to grow, if you want to build an audience, you are running like a restaurant or a business, and random products don't do well, and just cooking random food. If people come in the door and don't know what they're going to be served, they stop coming in the door. So you really have to make it about them and not about you, and meeting their expectations and being of service to them. It's a service industry. That was my realization, back when we started talking 10, 12 years ago, is that, you have to be of service, and that's when you build an audience or a community.
Don't lose sight of what Rene just said, so because that was gold. Thank you, Rene. And it's so hard for people to, dial it back. But I want to say this about weaving, because you asked about weaving. The way I look at it is you absolutely do exactly what Dee and Rene are talking about, right? You focus. But Abby is showing up every time, right? She's a personality, or she's part of my personality or my life. I love to dance. So guess what? I dance during the countdown timer. There are all of these different personality traits or interests. I love to read. And so occasionally I'll, integrate topics that people are going to be interested in, and integrate like what those books are that I love and then want to share with you. You know what I mean? Like you can weave your personality, your other interests into your content where it's not about what people are clicking on. It's about what makes them stay and keeps that content sticky. So that's how I always look at this, is how you can bring in your other interests.
You've done that so well over the years too. Like it's always been about like almost like Seinfeld or Friends. It's not just Luria, it's the people around her. Like it's Abby now, it's all of those things. And I think David Dobrik does that really well. And some of the other big YouTubers, it becomes like a little cast of characters that you get invited into every stream or every show.
Yeah, we always talk about the, magical Mr. Paul Dixon and Callie and, they're that's funny. I never thought about it like that, but there are characters to this story, to this content.
It creates connection.
Go ahead,
yeah,
Melanie. Sorry.
That's exactly why from my live streams on my channel, I don't do live training. I could do live training. I could do training and show people how to edit videos, and I might work that in here or there. But I do more of a hangout with the community because I want to get those parts of my personality out, right? We listen to music. We talk about whatever's going on. And, I answer the questions. They have, mobile creator questions and that sort of thing. But what's happened is half of my live stream, they're not even interested in phone stuff. They're almost all YouTubers, but, a lot of them are doing stuff on a desktop as well, but they just love hanging out. They love what's going on in my live stream. Yeah. So that was one of the best things about me going live, was getting that personality out there. I don't have an Abby, but if I did, she would definitely be part of my live stream.
Yeah. I feel like I need to go get Abby right now.
Where is Abby?
Yes.
While Mel says what she was going to say.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think I love that analogy of the characters because for me, I've been following Luria for a long time now, and which is why it's like, I can't believe I'm here right now. So, but I also do not use half of the things that she focuses on teaching, but I still learn stuff. I still learn all the in-between stuff. And so, but I just enjoy being here. I enjoy, 1:00 Eastern time, because it's like, I used to sometimes comment, I'd be like, I'm just here for the music, because I would literally be getting ready to go do my own live stream. And I'd be like, I'll get a little warm up of my own. And I it become all these little elements that you introduce become part of that experience. And I think that branding right now is an experience. I was just having this conversation that branding is no longer the lipstick you throw on things, the logo, the colors. It's the experience that you create for people. And so for me to answer this question, or to talk about the niching or the niching, however you want to say it, is I've always struggled with this mightily for years. And just last year, I finally was like, everything's watered down because I'm not narrow enough. I'm not narrow enough with my audience. I'm not narrow enough with my stuff. And so I started narrowing in on live streaming because I enjoy it so much and I believe in it. But I always had that imposter syndrome a little bit with it, right? So I just started focusing on it, having fun with it. But what I think, so kind of to your point, is that you can be the niche. You can be the reason why people come. You can talk about all kinds of things, but if you put yourself out there and you stretch those limits and you create these little experiences, people aren't going to care whether you're talking about Apples versus Androids or whatever. They're just there because they like you said, you're creating a community, but you are the hub of the community. And so again, that goes back to putting yourself out there and creating a reason why people want to be connected to you. And all the little things like the Abbies and all this stuff. And that's why I introduced the animated GIFs in my streams.
Yes.
I started creating these animations of myself, doing the things we see all the time.
It's so awesome.
They're becoming part of that experience. People are like, pull up the party parrot. I'm like, okay, I will. Blah, there's the party parrot. And because of this, it's creating this polarization. And also it's helping people understand what they can look at me for. And so I keep saying this to Luria. She's, one of my mentors. And I'm like, I have so much momentum right now, but it's because I've narrowed in on a segment of a topic, but I'm also really stretching myself from a personality standpoint. And I think that is just there's a connection there, and people just want to be connected, and they want to be connected to a human. I always say that. So, but yeah, all great stuff. I know I always say to myself, if I could even go deeper or even more narrow, I'd probably make strides further. But I honestly, right now, I'm just kind of having a bunch of fun, and I'm going to lean into the stuff that feels right. So It's kind of where I'm at.
You're making your channel aerodynamic, right? That's exactly what's
I like
happening.
that.
When you're focusing in on something like that, when you're niching down, it's all about aerodynamics, right?
a great
You're
way
gonna
to
move
put it.
faster. You're going to build up momentum. And you're going to move through YouTube a lot faster than you normally would if you were doing a variety of content.
That's such
You're
a great way
creating
to put it.
drag.
Boba
You're
Fett.
creating drag. Yeah.
Boba Fett thing down.
The rangefinder. Yeah.
Yeah, the rangefinder.
Yeah.
Do you think like live streaming pros is niche enough? I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Absolutely, I do.
Okay.
I mean, your name kind of says
You're
it all.
a
You go
double,
live
triple
for
I was
it.
just curious,
I was gonna
like,
say, yeah.
because it is like at the top level, right? But it is about professional. Like it's, I mean, at the kind of core. Anyway, that was just a random thought.
Well,
But you're also
here's a
amazingly
great way to answer
engaging.
that.
Like I will
Go ahead,
often
Rene.
just watch.
Oh
while
wait,
I'm
hold on.
editing.
Sorry,
I
Rene
was gonna
first.
say, yeah, I was gonna say you're like a double, triple threat because you're on topic. You're helping people achieve something that they want. So you're providing really, really high value. But also, you are one of the best people in the world I have ever seen at creating community and making people feel engaged and welcomed. And I'll echo what other people said. I will sit there and edit and just watch the show, and I feel like, especially the last year and a half, I'll feel like I'm part of something that I can't get anywhere else. And you're just so good at making people feel heard and there. And so I think people come for both for you. They really want
Right.
they really want the help, they want the service, but then you lock them in with just how much fun and how great the community is. I think that's a winning
that's
recipe. Not
key,
everybody
right?
can do both.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I think if you care about people, if you hate people, you shouldn't be live streaming. But I think if you care about
I just
people,
meant you're super talented.
No, I don't want it to be something exclusive, right? Because engagement and
That's true.
community building is something that everybody can learn to do. And maybe it doesn't come as naturally to some people as it has for me, but it can definitely be done and learned. Dee, you were going to say something earlier.
Yeah, you ask if you were niche down enough, and I think a great way to gauge that is to ask your community or ask people, ask your peers, what am I known for on the platform, right? Like
Yes.
if anybody asks me questions about like, hey, I want to use vMix or I want to start broadcasting my church service or whatever, I'm like live streaming pros, right? Live
Right.
streaming pros. Somebody says, hey, I'm thinking about buying a new Apple computer. I'm like, Rene, you got to go talk to
Yeah.
Rene. You know what I mean? People become known for specific things
Yeah.
on the platform. And as long as you're known for that, then that's how you know if you're niched down correctly or not.
All right, we got to lose Stephanie, unfortunately. Wait, hold on. You got to stick around, tell everybody where they can find you because we got another super chat that you can play with.
Oh, yeah. You
But
can
while
find me
you're
on LinkedIn.
There you go.
You can find more of this adorkableness over at LinkedIn. Just search for Stephanie Liu, STEPHANIE, and then LIU. You can call me Big Lou, and I'll know to automatically add you.
I love it. Thank you, Stephanie, so much for hanging out.
Bye,
She
friends.
needs to trademark that.
This way, this way,
Adorkableness.
this way.
She needs to
Bye-bye.
trademark that.
She does. She really does.
Adorable.
Wait, hold on, Dee. I didn't lose you. Just a second. I just got to change this out. There we go.
I'm back.
And he's back. Real quick, the question from the super chat from Christopher. Thank you, by the way, $20 super chat. I haven't live streamed yet. I have a very personal and emotional story to share. What platform should I use or strategy? Thank you. Who wants to take that?
I mean, I'll jump on it. So I think it's interesting. So a lot of times people, when you're going to share something that's really personal and it's really emotional, I really like, start with your personal profile. I mean, it's personal. So your personal audience is a great place to practice when you are going to stretch those muscles. And the reason I'm saying is because he says he's never gone live. And so I think, depending on what he has, if you have a brand, if you have a business, and obviously if that personal and emotional story is attached or aligned with what it is you're offering, whether it be a book or whatnot. But I say start with your personal profile. So personal Facebook or go live on your Instagram, channel. I am a firm believer in, as we were saying earlier, is let people in your world. I mean, your story matters. And when you share stories with people, even the hard ones or the deep ones or the whatevers, they actually create even deeper connections with your audience. I'm a breast cancer survivor. In fact, 2 years ago today is when I actually had my double mastectomy. So 2 years cancer-free today. And It's not why my hair's short, though. People ask me that all the time. My hair was already short. But I was already rocking this do before that. But, you know, when I found out, when I was first diagnosed, I posted. I was very public about it because, for one, I was just like, it's going to be awkward if I'm like, see someone around town and I'm like, do they know? You know, so I just was out there. And the thing that was interesting about it was by sharing that story, even though it had nothing to do with business. I mean, this is not a business aspect. The amount of people that reached out to me and said, because you shared this, or because you talked about that, or I didn't know that part about that, you know, when you go through these things, they were like, I went and got a mammogram. I mean, I always say this, I had no less than like 100 different women tell me they went and got mammograms, and there was a large number of them that had abnormalities that they would have never have known about.
Yes.
And, you know, so that story has nothing to do with my business. However, I can share this story and say, when you become vulnerable, when you share personal stories, and when you put yourself out there, people connect with you more. And I talk about it. I mention it on my podcast. I mention it in other places. It's part of who I am. And so, but I shared it on my personal stuff first. And it was kind of like, okay, this is interesting. And you start to see the responses. And then you can go kind of public, if you will, from a business standpoint. Again, if it's aligned and if it matters. But I 100% think that people feel like they're not supposed to share things like that. But we are, again, it's not B2B or B2C anymore. It is human to human marketing, and that people want to get to know humans and they want to learn more about you as a person. And so I think that layer it in and make it part of what you want to share. I mean, everybody has personal boundaries. There's going to be some things you don't share. You know, Luria, you've started to be more vulnerable and share more in your content. And I think tons of people are feeling more connected to you because of that. So yeah. I do think that there's a place for it, but you know, you gotta layer it in your own kind of way. There's not really any formulated answer for the question, but I mean, I just want to encourage you to do it because you're going to make a difference in somebody's life. You will.
Yeah.
First of all, I just want to say, Mel, you're an absolute badass. Congratulations.
Thanks, my friend.
Kicking cancer's ass.
Seriously.
Yeah, man. That's like,
I
didn't know
was very
that about
fortunate.
you.
I was very fortunate, you know, but, you know, awareness is key and taking action and doing the right steps. And so, you know, I'm glad it's behind me and, you know, it's just part of the journey now.
And I think the hair is all part of your aerodynamic.
It is. I know. I know.
So I want to add on to what Mel said because everything she said was perfect. But there's the issue of discoverability, right? Because everybody's making content. You want to go live and you want to be seen. Otherwise, what's it all for, right?
Right.
Yep.
So in my opinion, the best 3 platforms for discoverability right now are obviously going to be YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram Reels. Like currently right now, the people who are focusing on those are seeing the most growth. It's so easy to get found on all of these platforms if you do it the right way. So
not
whatever
YouTube
type
Reels? Or are you saying YouTube Reels and Instagram and TikTok?
No.
Okay.
Instagram Reels, I could add shorts. So Instagram
shorts,
Reels, TikTok, YouTube, and inside of YouTube, you can include YouTube Shorts with that as well. But short form content specifically, some people are seeing just explosive growth with that. And I don't mean you have to do pranks and that sort of thing. A lot of people, you know, they download TikTok and this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. But once the algorithm figures out what you want, there's some amazing content over there. People sharing their stories, sharing their struggles and the things that they've been through to lift other people up. So yeah, I would focus on those platforms.
And then
you have to be found. You have to be found.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this topic came up in my Streamer Accelerator coaching group yesterday. Somebody asking about sharing a personal journey, right? And you have to understand, I think, what is this to you? Is it something that you are going to make a business, or is it something that you're just wanting to share and just connect with other people, and you have no tie-in to a business or monetization strategy? You have to clear that up for yourself at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I want to add to that. So the thing about social media is it's about the viewer, right? So even though you have a story to tell,
yes.
you have to understand that in order to get people to actually watch and listen to your story, you have to make it about them. So you might want to think, instead of just sitting down and saying, here's my story, think of a way to involve the person that's going to watch your content, right? If there's something that you could help them through, right? Let's say you've been through a particular, I don't know, let's just say you're a burn victim, right? I'm just pulling it out of nowhere. Instead of talking about your story right out of the gate about I'm a burn victim, this is what happened to me, maybe you could make videos and do live streams on ways that burn victims can get through their pain, right? What are the ointments that you use? Like here's how I recovered from a third degree burn, right?
Yeah.
Make it about them instead of like making titles where it's like I this, I that. Flip that around and make it about them, right? How you can overcome a third degree burn, how you can treat whatever burn, and so on and so forth. If you make it about them and you're on the right platforms that have excellent discoverability opportunities, that's where you're going to win.
And Rene, I actually would love for you to speak to this from an Apple perspective, because while what Dee just said is a content perspective, Apple is notorious for making their products, aka content, in this relation, you know what I mean. But they're notorious for making their products about the user and making it an identity. So do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Yeah. Can I add something really quickly to what Dee said as well? Because mutual friend of ours, Georgia Dow, just started a YouTube channel literally this morning, and she's a psychotherapist, and we were working on titles, and the realization was it had to be about the person. So her first topics are am I suffering from a panic attack? That became, are you suffering from a panic attack? The other one is, do you have anxiety? And we tried to make it in forms of like what would resonate with you, not about her, but about you, and how, again, she could help you. And that really helped us from a title perspective.
I love that.
But I think from Apple, you're absolutely right. They will not enter a market unless they believe that they can provide distinct value to that market. Like they never want to make a Me Too product. They want to make something. They often wait a while. They see what else is on the market, which is really good, because if you can research people who do something similar to you, you can see not only what their best practices are, but any problem areas, anything you see people complaining about or areas they're not addressing, and that lets you be even more tactical when you enter that market. And then in Apple's case, it depends on your niche. Like I know if you're doing like prank videos or like vlogs, you want to be more like low down and like a little dirtier because you want to feel like the people are part of the content. But if you're doing like TechTube or CameraTube or something, your proof of value is the extra you put into your content. And that's Apple's thing. They're going for premium. So they want to make a product that's like barely affordable luxury. It's like just at the edge of you not being willing to pay for it, but it's like super good build quality, super good looking. And that's how they believe they'll provide value. It's a little bit expensive up front, but it'll last you 5 years. And they build that brand identity, and you get used to seeing all those Apple logos lit up everywhere. And then you want to be part of that.
Yeah. Oh, so well said.
I love that, Rene. I love that.
This is such a good topic. Such a good topic. Thank you guys for asking such great questions, by the way. Now, I told my guests that we were going to wrap up at noon. If you guys, this is up to you. We had some other people, they have some other people who are thinking or trying to join right now as well. But do you want to keep going? Do you want to wrap up in 15 minutes? You tell me, guys.
You only paid me until noon.
Oh, that's true. I forget. I'll PayPal you.
You can put another quarter in, Luria. Just put another quarter.
Right. I mean, yeah.
You guys, this is the open, format. So you guys have to tell me when you're busy and want to go. So
I'm good for another hour.
Okay.
But you know what? If you guys want to go all day, I'm good all day. I might have to take a restroom break. I might have to put some more tequila in my cup, but I'm good.
Oh, yes. Fill mine
Oh, the
up.
secret is out.
Fill mine up while you're at it.
More vodka in yours, Luria. Straight vodka.
Keep going. Keep going. Okay. All right. So here's the a couple questions, just technical questions, and then we're going to get back to some real good stuff as well. Somebody asked what software I'm using. I am using Ecamm Live to run this production, and they are all coming in. And that's how you see, when we've got that. And
We lost your sound.
Oh, really? Oh, I must have.
When you went to just the two of us.
I must have muted myself at that time before I left. Anyway, so that's Ecamm Live. You can learn more about Ecamm Live. I don't have my button for that at livestreamingpress.com/ecamm. It's a free training. Okay. And then somebody else asked one question. When is Ecamm Live going to do LinkedIn? It's coming. Just be patient. Patience, my dear. I feel like we need
Patience,
something from
Jedi.
Yoda.
I know, right? And then, but you still have to get approved to go live on LinkedIn. You still have to be approved for it. So, and it still seems like, I saw an article from somebody with LinkedIn, and they were basically saying the way to get approved is to be doing consistent content, be active on the platform, and also to be live streaming on your other platforms, because they are going to look at your other, when you do it, when you apply, you have to share links. You have to share a link to a recent live stream. And so they are kind of like looking at your other stuff to see if you're maybe a good fit for what they're looking for on the platform. So you do still have to apply, unfortunately. And I also was told, apply. If you don't get approved, keep trying, keep applying again and again. Viper's here. What's up, Viper?
Viper in the house.
So here's a funny story about that. But when I was still back in Thailand with Nick and we were doing our Saturday live stream, you know, we've got the studio all built up and everything.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was talking to Nick about like all the, like when all of the changes are going to happen. And sorry, I got excited.
Yeah. Well, by the way, that studio is courtesy of Live Streaming Pros. Like they were the inspiration of us building that studio. But we applied to start live streaming over on LinkedIn, and they denied us every single time. So
yeah,
you know, whatever.
they've
Like,
denied me every single time as well. So.
Yeah.
The live streaming pro, they denied the live streaming
Right.
pro. It's amazing.
Right.
Well, they do have a term that says you cannot teach live streaming on LinkedIn. So
How dumb is that?
I've seen that.
How dumb is that?
I don't know.
Right?
They also don't want you to teach LinkedIn on LinkedIn. Did you know that too?
Oh no.
Yeah, they don't want you teaching
Calling
like
Satya
LinkedIn
Nadella now.
It's like, I guess it's too meta for them. I don't know.
I don't know. There must be some reason behind it. I'm not bad mouthing you, LinkedIn, but
Neither am I.
If you don't post in 3 minutes, they email you to ask why, but they won't let you stream about it.
Right.
Okay, next question. We've got some really good questions coming up. Your tech coach, Kathleen, says, what is one tool each guest wishes everyone knew about? Great question. Renee, I'm picking on you.
Okay, go ahead. Nope.
This is going to sound totally dorky, but it really is the community, because if you're out there trying to do everything on your own, you know, it doesn't matter
That's
what
so
software or
dorky.
what gear you
That's
have,
so
but you're going to
dorky.
be reinventing the wheel.
It's adorable.
It's adorkable. You're going to be reinventing every wheel, and you're going
Has
to be
anyone made the
frustrated
dorkable
and
shirt yet?
alone. And once you tap,
Sorry, don't talk while Renee's talking because he actually has a delay. And so you're throwing him off, Dee. Behave.
I apologize. It's coming from Canada.
Sorry, keep going.
No, I was just going to say, like, you're always reinventing the wheel. You're always rediscovering everything. And once you tap into the community, whether it's watching Lurio, you know, Dee's, everyone's streams here, or it's going to like the different community, whether it's Clubhouse or not, whatever you can find and learn from the community, it's just a force multiplier. It lets you get to stand on the shoulders of giants, literal giants, and it saves so much work and effort and time and money.
Yes. Okay, now Dee, you can say what you're going to say.
Well, I have to apologize to Renee because I didn't realize that he was on dial-up in Canada. I'm sorry about that, Renee.
It has to convert at the border.
Oh my God.
They say have to climb the border wall or go under it, one or the other. It slows everything down.
Yeah, we built a wall. Sorry, folks. We had to build a wall.
I'm not going there.
I don't blame you. Build it higher. Do you guys remember they had two of them, and the second one was terrible, but the original was Escape from New York, and they built the huge wall to like keep all the prisoners. It was Snake Plissken.
Kurt Russell,
yes, and they built the wall around New York, and all the prisoners were in New York. They literally walled off New York, and then
you got to give Luria
they walled
all
off
the
Los
pop
Angeles.
culture questions.
Yeah.
Oh,
they need
yeah,
to
my
wall
God.
off the U.S. right now. So the tool that I recommend for everyone is, if you're on YouTube, it's not really a tool as so much as a resource. It's called the YouTube Creator Academy. YouTube does a terrible job letting people know that this exists, and it's a series of mini courses created by YouTube that's free, that teaches you how everything on the platform works. They have a mini course on monetization. They have a mini course on content strategy, so on and so forth. It's literally the instruction manual to YouTube, and they do a terrible job of letting people know that it exists. So YouTube Creator Academy, that's what I wish everybody would know about if they're trying to make content on YouTube.
Thank you, Sammy, for the $5 super chat. Who's going to take over the petting? There we go.
Wrong side.
Sammy has a question with his super chat. I'm going to finish out this round of questions, and then Sammy, you'll be up next, top of the queue. Mel.
Man, I knew you were going to say this. So what was it? What is a tool I wish everybody knew about? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Honestly, I feel like everybody already knows about Canva, but that would have been what I would have said, because it just makes the process of everything so easy, and you can design overlays in Canva and do the transparency. So I'm going to say unscreen, because that's how I make my animated GIFs that I pull in as an overlay, and I have the little dancing me in the corner, and that's how I make my GIFs. Everybody wants to know how I make my own custom transparent GIFs, and it's unscreen is what I use. It is not a perfect tool. It's not perfect, but it's the best thing we can do without having to open up hard, complex software. So unscreen would be the tool I wish, so that you can go make fun stuff like your own GIFs. Or GIFs, however you want to say it. I say GIF.
The G is silent.
that.
The G is
I say
silent.
GIF because I say GIF because it's JPEG. If it's JPEG, why can't it be GIF, right? So
Yeah.
JPGs. People say JPEG. So if they can say JPEG, I can say GIF.
Fair.
You've just broken the internet.
I know it's going to create
I know,
a
it's
big
just
old.
like-
There's going to be this every time. The comments are like, no.
It is from graphical interchange file format in CompuServe in 1972. How dare you?
Exactly.
All right, the person I was
Graphics.
waiting
Graphics.
for.
What about you, Luria? You didn't
Hold
answer
on.
the question.
We got Doc Rock in the house.
What is up?
Now the
Doc-
party's official.
Now the party is official. I'll answer while he's getting settled in. I'll answer that
noticed
question.
That you turned off audio processing, so I got to plug in my headphones.
I've
been in
did.
the habit of just listening to studio monitors, which has been dope.
I know. I do that because it does create like ducking, so when people are talking over each other, it gets really awkward.
Yeah. It's funny, God. Now that I got my new KRK studio monitors, I have them set far enough that they don't reach the mic. But it has been actually cool to be able to do streams with no headphones, even though I yell at everybody to wear headphones. But that's because they're not going to go invest in like $1,000 worth of monitors, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't auto-tune like you do.
Right?
I'm going to do my T-Pain. Rene Ritchie. Hey.
All right. Okay. We're answering the question right now of what's the one tool that you wish everybody knew about. And but first, before we get to that, I want to reset the room.
Clubhouse.
I know. I've just been saying it all. I accidentally said it, and then I just embraced it. So, welcome. Go ahead. What?
I was going to say, make sure you follow all the presenters.
Yep.
I know, right? Follow all the moderators.
Their links are in the description, which is different than Clubhouse. But I want to make sure everybody is aware of what's going on. We're having Stream-o-Palooza!
I have to dance now.
Come on, you gotta dance.
You
get to dance.
Oh, if you stay till the end, we're dancing this baby out. But we are doing Q&A. We've got so many questions in the queue. I'm just even having a hard time like getting through them all because there's so much good stuff. Doc Rock is going to introduce himself next. Then we're going to just do quick intros, super quick intros of who everybody is again. Doc, take it away.
Aloha, everyone. I am Doc Rock, your resident Swiss Army nerd. I like all myriad forms of tech, as well as like cooking, traveling. Nihongo no koto ga hontou ni desukimasu kedo. Then chonun dak imi ni da. I also speak Korean, Spanish, and I swear. So those are my languages.
And he swears.
I swear.
Was that?
My kind of guy.
And Klingon.
And I live in Honolulu, Hawaii. It's a freezing 72 degrees. That's 22 to Rene. And if you have any questions about YouTube and whatever, I'm the dude. Hit me up. I mean, I'm not D, but I am bald and bespectacled and bearded, so close enough.
I love it.
Nice
Mel,
to be here. Thanks,
you're
Doc.
up.
Yeah, my name is Melanie Dyann, but just call me Mel. It's a lot easier. And I'm all about helping people put themselves out there and getting more connections on social media so that they can have a better experience with their customers. And I love live video. I think it's the best way to do that. So I help people get started with live streaming and using scrappy methods so that we can look like the cool people on the screen with me, but we're doing it the scrappy duct tape kind of way. That's my jam.
I like
I love
scrappy
it.
duct tape.
Oh,
Yeah, scrappy
good.
doesn't have to be crappy though. Doc. Doesn't have to be crappy.
Scrappy.
100%.
You can be scrappy, but not crappy, as Mel says.
That's my motto.
D.
My name is Dee, and I have a YouTube channel where I help mobile content creators and mobile live streamers. So if you're doing all of this stuff on your phone, I have a YouTube channel just for you. And unlike Doc, I do not speak Japanese. I max out Japanese at Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto. And I do speak a little Spanish. Hola, Senor Doc. And annyeonghaseyo, Doc.
Okay, that's better. There you go. And then Sawadi bin Longai Kap to you, D.
Ooh. Kun shalat mak loy.
Tayak Duglang Noi? Oh, we just turned this into a Thai stream. It's on.
Yeah, listen, we're going Asian languages today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
All right, Rene is going to bless us with some France.
Oh, je peux parler en québécois si tu veux, là. C'est pas le problème. E je posso parlare italiano un poco, ma pas veramente. Non veramente.
Wait,
That
that
was
sounded Italian,
my
not
bad
French.
attempt.
Yeah.
He switched.
Oh,
I switched to Italian. I switched to Calabrese, I think. I think it was Calabrese. I'm not positive.
I feel so bad
I'm
that
an
I
indie
don't.
tech
that I'm
analyst.
not
I
as-
cover Apple, and I have a YouTube channel, Rene Ritchie.
Loria, pick one, because studying languages makes your brain work so hard. The rest of learning stuff becomes easy, and then it literally does help you learn other things. I promise you that. So just pick one and go for it. In the process
Italian.
of learning that,
Done.
you'll be so hungry about other knowledge, it will stick. I don't know why. It's just
That's
a thing.
cool. I love that. Okay, I pick
We
Italian
can be
since
Duolingo
I'm
buddies,
Italian.
Luria.
Okay, I'll go for that. Okay, so we're gonna finish the previous question real quick between Doc and myself about what's your favorite tool that you think everybody should know about. And Doc, you want to take that, and then I'll take it, and then we'll move on to Sammy's super chat.
I will definitely pick that. We all teach basically the same thing with the exception of Rene. He makes sure you have the right gear. But most of us are going to sort of repeat ourselves because the foundational information is the same. And I think the one thing that I've been kind of focusing on that I wish I can just get everyone to focus on is of all the tools available, it doesn't cost you much. You can have a library card and go get it handled. If you don't have a library card, you can buy the books relatively cheap, but it has to do with adjusting and reframing your mindset. The number one tool you have is between here and here, and most of the things that you've been told negative about yourself are wrong. And if someone else said to you the things you say to yourself, you would want to beat them senseless in the parking lot. So for me, the number one tool to fix is this.
Boom.
I saw Fight Club. I watched some.
Don't talk about it.
Up in the parking lot.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah. Go. Talking about it. Damn.
That is such. I can't even follow that, but I will try. But he's absolutely right. The other thing that I would say is my favorite tool is the Do Not Disturb button.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
Both. Sammy, thanks for the additional super chat. So Do Not Disturb both. You missed it earlier, Doc, but Stephanie kept petting Abby's super
Doc,
chat
you're in the
alert.
window. You have to pet.
Yeah, you're now
Stephanie's
up.
point game online is flawless. I
just
always
don't
go
get
like
Dee's
over
head by
here,
accident.
completely the wrong direction, but Stephanie has it straight wired,
know.
and it drives me mental because every time I try it, I mess it up.
I screwed up all the time as well.
I do too, but I recently figured out it's so simple, you guys. You have to look at, the shelves are over here. You have to literally
I know it is. It's
Yeah, I
actually
started doing
simple,
it by
but
paying attention to Lord
it's
Vader.
still hard.
yeah. So Do Not Disturb twofold. One for live streaming. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Secondly, and also your computer on Do Not Disturb, like go into Do Not Disturb mode. But secondly, from a productivity standpoint, when you're not live streaming, when you're preparing content, or when you're doing anything in your business that needs to be done, I love just shutting off everything, especially Clubhouse, so that I can focus and so that I can be more productive and get something done in a shorter amount of time without all the distractions.
Yes, Clubhouse notifications. Oh my goodness, I'm about to turn them off. They're driving
You
me
can
mad.
pause them. I love that you can pause it for an hour, pause it till tonight, pause it till tomorrow morning.
Yes.
I love that feature. I've been using
It's
that.
a thing. Like
a
I
lot.
see them, and I immediately, and I'm like, "Wait, dude, you're driving." Okay, hello, I'm back.
Yeah.
Especially when I
love and
look
drive,
up,
Doc.
and this morning I'm in the middle of doing my podcast on the British Tech Network, and I get the one that pops up, and it's like the Nimmin brothers are having a conversation, and I want to bolt out of the middle of my podcast mid question. We were doing the news roundup, and we were fighting about Apple's market share on smartwatches, and I was arguing my point, and it came up, and I was about to go. So, lawyer's correct. Option, click that little chicles in the very top right corner of your screen to tell your Mac to not notify you nothing.
Yes, which I did not do, so I'm going to do that right now. Okay.
I'm sorry. Chicles are little pieces of gum. Sorry. D knows that. He lives in Chicle Town.
All right, you guys ready for the next question?
I'll
Yeah?
take Rene Ritchie for the block.
Is it Sammy's question from his super chat from like
He-
80 minutes ago?
Oh, I thought we already did that. No, we didn't.
Did we do Sammy's?
Shoot. Hold
Sammy's
on.
nickname in the group is Sammy Super Chat.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Thank you for the super chat. Sammy said, "What is your favorite part of Clubhouse?" I did a post about my favorite part of Clubhouse yesterday on Facebook. If you look
It
at
was a
my
good post.
Facebook profile, why, thank you. Because thank you for the super chat. Because so we have, what a lot of people are talking about is like there are celebrities. And yesterday, if you've been around for the stream, you know that Justin
Guarini.
Timberlake?
I was going to say
No.
Bieber.
Oh.
Timberlake? Justin Timberlake?
Oh.
Come in?
I changed my answer for the question about who I would want to have a clubhouse with. Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake.
Jessica Biel. Oh, sorry, you went the other way.
Bringing sexy back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go in that room too.
I met Justin Timberlake when he was still a Mouseketeer.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, it was funny. Him and Britney, they were still nobodies yet, but they came to Hawaii to do a Disney thing, and I was audio engineer, so I was doing stuff, setting everything up, and I got to hang out with them all day, and it's just really weird because right after, like the year later, they all blew up.
Oh, wow.
Like the entire lot of that clique, that one Mouska clique. I don't know what you call it.
Wait, so you were an audio engineer for Disney?
Because I worked at my radio station, and although I
Yeah.
was DJ, so I'm the MC for the event. In the beginning, the sound guys were, at that time, we had a whole bunch of sound stuff. There was multiple things going on, so like I was setting up a section for them because they were like, "Oh, we need an extra hand," and they're like, "Oh, Doc's a nerd. He knows how to do all of this stuff." So I had to help set up the thing, and we're doing the sound check with them, and so I hung out there all day while we were getting set up for the Mickey Mouse thing.
You knew
Nice.
Justin
That's
before
why
he
I'm
brought
so
sexy
anal
back. I
about
love
like
it.
stream audio and stuff is because coming from radio and TV production world, front of the mic, behind the mic, like I understand it. So that's why I'm so.
Yeah.
Why do you still have a Blue Yeti? Sorry.
Hey, don't dog the Blue Yeti. Us scrappy people, that's what we got.
I'll take it back. Cheaper mic, that sounds better. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it
I know.
alone. I'm gonna stop.
What would you recommend actually? Because
Q2U, $60. A Q2U
What is
at
it?
$60. Samsung Q2U at $60 will run absolute circles around the Blue Yeti because it is modeled after the standard Shure SM58 that's been in rock and roll since 1940.
That's what I'm
It's
using
right
right
here.
now.
There you
Love
go.
it.
I'm telling you, this will run circles around the Blue Yeti. This is a real mic, and it has XLR when you grow up.
when you
What-
grow up,
what
see,
is that?
that's what's cool.
When you
about
grow
this.
up.
I love it. I love it.
On
I
your
love
left.
it.
On your left. On your left.
Yeah,
got
this
a
is
point.
the SM. Yeah, this is the SM58.
Yeah.
I'm growing up and I'm using the Rode NTG4.
I needed something because I'm traveling. I
on
needed
this.
something like you just throw in a bag and not
Yeah.
worry about it breaking.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
Yeah.
these things are indestructible. You can't break these things.
100%. It's solid metal. You can use it as a weapon if someone gets crazy with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
I
fighting
recently,
cartels.
Sennheiser MKH416 because I'm really old on XLR.
It's hilarious. I like the plug and play stuff, Doc. That's my thing. But I did
Yeah.
try I did try the JLab, the lower JLab mic. It was like $40 or something, and it sounded identical to the Nano. So I mean, the mics are just becoming my thing, and it's plastic, and it was like, I'm like, God, this thing feels cheap, but it was fine, and I liked it. I liked that it was almost like indestructible in a way because it was made with plastic.
Mics are getting good. The main thing you're paying for in body is noise rejection, so that when you accidentally hit it and stuff like that. But capsule-wise, mics are getting relatively cheap. And, you know, the funny thing about the Yeti, why I get so much crap, is the original 2 years of Yeti, they were still built by the original engineers from Blue. Logitech bought them in their second year and decided they could take this mic that's selling for, say, at that time, a Yeti was like $250. They're like, I can take this mic and get it down to $150 so everyone will want to buy it. So when they did that, though, they turned it into not what it originally was. The body shape was the same, but the internals are weird. So if you have a 2009, 2010 Yeti, you have the OG Yeti. And the other thing that's funny about that, the guys who did that, they invented Neat, which is the bumblebee mics, the ones that look like bees. And you thought they learned their lesson from the Blue sale. They just got bought out yesterday by, I think, Microsoft or somebody. What was it, Rene? Do you remember? Somebody crazy bought
They learned a
Neat.
different lesson, Doc. They learned that you sell fast and make something new to sell that again.
Yeah, I guess. There you go. Because they literally just went back, and the bumblebees were dope. They look ugly, but they sound incredible because they went back to their pure audio engineer lineage. And the problem about Blue and how you get tricked, most of your singers, you're Justin Timberlake's, and these guys are creating audios on Blue bottles, like $4,000 lovely Blue mics. So people think the heritage is the same. And so name licensing is weird, and you should always learn to double check that stuff. Is this legit Blue, or is this Logitech posing as Blue?
Good to know. Good to know. There's a lot of people in the comments saying that they use that. I mean, I think there's a lot to learn. I really think, Gloria, you should write this down. I actually think you could totally do a whole show on, I know, right? I'll text you like on mics, because the market has changed, and a lot of people don't know those types of things. And I think a lot of people, they buy stuff just simply because somebody says this is what I use, but they don't even know how to shop for it. It's kind of like, I think that we're going to see the same thing with webcams. Even, I mean, there are still people. There's a place for people to use webcams. I mean, none of us, I think, are using webcams, but it's the same. It's like the Logitech 920 and the Logitech 922 there needs to be different recommendations. And so it's like the same thing. You walk in and you're like, I don't even know. You can't test them. You can't play with them. So it's like, how do you know what to buy? So like knowing to do your research. Okay, great. How do you do your research? You know what I mean? So I think that it's a topic that needs to be talked about more. I think people focus so much on software.
Here's the reason why it's hard, because I go back to my mentor, Stephanie. Stephanie makes a Blue Yeti sound marvelous because her voice is sort of perfect for that kind of capsule, right? Someone with as much like Isaac Hayes and boom in their voice as me, I sound horrible on the Yeti because that has been cued out, right?
Yeah.
So what you're going to find out is there are actually some people who can get away with a certain mic because of their vocal tonality, but because there's nobody teaching that stuff, people will literally go out and buy it because I said so. Right. And I try to tell you that when you get it, it might sound funny to you, and it's okay if it sounds funny to you. Switch it while it's still good. Like you got 10, 15, 20, sometimes 30, 45 days, send it back and get another one, because it's like shoes, right? Nike, not all Nikes fit me. I'm Adidas. I don't even know why I said that, but you know what I mean. Even in Adidas, right? I love them, but I can't wear Boost. They don't fit good. They aren't comfortable. I'm never going to buy Yeezys. They're not comfortable. But the Nike NMDs, Adidas NMDs, every single one of those fit. So I don't even bother. If I see them and they're in a decent colorway, I just buy them because I know they're perfect. So even in your favorite sneaker brand, throughout various versions of their sneakers, they don't fit you because you got a weird foot or something, you know? So
that's a great point.
Such a great analogy. Yeah. And Doc, I'm going to invite you right here and now to do an entire show about that with me.
Yes. You should.
You up for it?
About feet?
Yeah, I love sneakers.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm
About
in for that.
feet?
Doc, let's do it.
I thought he was going to say, I don't really have that much to say about it.
How to take care of your feet with Doc and Luria. Yeah, let me know when that's going on.
You guys didn't know I was a podiatrist.
A pod
See, pod mic, podiatrist.
Oh my
But Sammy
God.
keeps getting on my case to buy an SM7B. And I'm like, I have mics higher than that. I just don't use them in the stream because it would be kind of, if I bought out my tube mic, it would be kind of bougie.
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 He's also using an Arri Alexa on his webcam. Don't do it, Doc.
Exactly, Rene.
All right, next question is, Limmy, can the experts please weigh in on your take for teachers and educators doing remote learning technology? Technology is improving so fast that some teachers are not comfortable with bells and whistles of live virtual teaching and are leaving the industry. What advice do you have to help passionate but struggling teachers? This is a great question, Limmy.
Yeah, and Lemiola helps. She works with teachers and with critical thinking. She helps kids develop their critical thinking skills. I'm really glad she asked-
Lemiola? I'm sorry.
Lemiola, yep.
Okay.
No, I'm glad she asked this question. I saw that a little bit ago.
Who wants to
Dee.
tackle it?
Well, if you're uncomfortable with live streaming, I mean, welcome to the club. Every person in this panel started off being uncomfortable with live streaming. It's like anything that you want to do, especially, look, if you can stand in front of a classroom, like I'm terrified of public speaking, right?
Right?
But I did it. You know what I mean? But I did it. I was terrified. Like my first, 10 or 15 live streams, I was terrified. I was live streaming. My very first live stream was on my brother's channel. He had like 150,000 or 200,000 subscribers, 150, 200 people in the room. And that was my first live stream. And I'm like, it was trial by fire. I was
Yeah.
terrified, but I did it. And, 10 or 15 streams later, I'm like, okay, I'm a little bit comfortable. And then I did it for a while. And then I'm like, you know what? And now it's just, you realize that it's no different than having a conversation. The only thing is you're just looking at a lens instead of looking at a friend or something. You just got to get over it. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine quitting my job or leaving a profession because I was uncomfortable with live streaming after you could stand in front of a class
Of kids.
and actually teach. Of
Kids.
kids, right. Kids
I think that's even
Say
scarier.
all the people in the back,
if
Gloria,
you were
of
my teacher,
kids.
man, I was almost gonna. I'm not gonna tell you what happened to one of our teachers. Somebody put LSD in her coffee. One of our teachers. Like that's the kind of kids I went to school.
gosh.
with.
Oh my
Right?
gosh.
That's the kind of kids I went to school
class
with.
that day.
You might have gone to the same
I
school.
don't condone that. I don't condone that. But I'm saying if you can stand in front of a class of mean kids, you can get on a Zoom call. You can get online. I mean, it's you can mute anyone you want to mute. You can put something on the screen if you need to take a break. You have the technology to show videos, to show images, to show your keynote presentation. So if you're like, hey, I need to just take a break, I need to go to the bathroom, whatever, you can do that. You can mute anybody you want to mute. So it's just something you have to get over. It's a hurdle you have to get. We all had to get over it.
Yes.
Depending on the age of your kids too, like if you're working with say middle to high school, I would use them because they know this stuff because they watch it all day and be like, yo, check this out. We are forced to do this and you guys know I'm not the greatest. So I'm looking for champions in my classroom that's going to help me do this. What do you guys want to know? First off, show me a TikTok dance so I can get over being weird on camera and we're going to do one together. And then they'll be like, oh, I'm down. Check this out. They show you all the moves. They'll show you the lawyer Petrucci. You know what I mean? And then
Thank you for the $10 super chat.
the other side of
Right.
it
Can't get
is I can't say this enough, and I know this is going to sound weird, but you have to shake that limiting belief before you teach it to them. Like
Yeah.
you can't be
Yes.
out here teaching them limiting beliefs. Somebody else told you you're afraid of the camera. There's no birth trait called afraid of camera. You can't even spell camera when you're born. There's no birth trait called shy. That is taught. So shake them bad boys. Just shake them. So if you got to talk to yourself every day in the mirror or shoot, live streams to yourself in a private group until you feel better, like knock yourself out. Let's do it. Like we all would be willing to help you because teachers are the real heroes in this world. I can't tell you, like the teachers that molded me and changed my life, made me, fall in love with books and all of that. So yeah, please shake that as soon as possible. If you need help, like I'm sure all of us will volunteer to help you because teachers are legit.
It's funny. I was
That's
watching The Last Table. I think that's the name on Netflix, and they have literally the best chefs in the world, like French laundromat, 3-star Michelin chefs, and they're all competing. And they all have massive imposter syndrome. They're like, if I win this, finally people will recognize my food. I'll know that I'm good. Oh, I hope I'm going to do okay. And these are literally the best chefs in the world.
Wow.
And they still have this problem.
Yeah, I want to say there's a great YouTube channel. His name is Tom Buck.
Oh,
Yeah.
Buck is his
Love
name.
Tom.
I'm getting Tom on
And-
this show soon.
Yes.
I
I
can't
We
wait.
just had
He's
Tom on the
awesome.
stream like 2 days ago.
Did
He's
you?
a bomb.
Did you? I absolutely love Tom. He's a teacher.
I love him.
I believe he's an audio visual teacher for, I believe, high school level. Somebody correct me if I'm
Yeah, he
wrong.
teaches
But he
multimedia
goes
for
over
high school.
all of the gear. And
Yeah.
so if you're trying to figure out the gear, obviously follow Live Streaming Pros. You're here for live streaming, but if you're wanting to dive into the weeds on the gear, man, Tom is just an absolute amazing resource for that.
Yeah, Tom
Love
is
it.
so good. And he's so genuine and like down to earth. Like
Uh-huh.
he's super. It's funny, like he has a plain name and he's a plain dude and he's just so legit. And him and Heather are just super nice. So yeah, definitely reach out to Tom. I'm sure he would be down to help you as well.
Yeah.
I like his quirky little his purposeful bad jokes that he always tells. It's-
Oh, they
dad-
crack
yeah, the dad jokes.
up.
I
The
love.
dad
I've
jokes.
learned a ton from his channel in the last 6 months. I discovered him just in the last few months, and I love his stuff.
Somebody
I
has
really
to
do.
clip this
Tom-
and send it to Tom. All of these
Tom,
awesome.
We love you, Tom.
We love you, Tom.
He just became the 100th member of my Clubhouse club that I got approved for without even knowing because I was complaining about how long the approval process takes. And when I hung up the room, it popped up right after I hung up the room.
Awesome.
Where I
That's
was
awesome.
complaining about them. So it was kind of funny.
That is
Tom-
funny. The first time
Tom's
I
actually-
watched him, I had a smile here, and I just didn't stop smiling. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Tom, I've because I've been stuck in Mexico since the pandemic
Yeah.
started, and I was trapped down here with really nothing but like my phone that kept overheating. I was using my phone to go live, which is great, you can, but if you're doing like a 2 or 3 hour live stream, it starts to overheat. So like, all right, I gotta get a camera, and I'm like, okay, well, I need to get a microphone, and none of the microphones that I wanted would. Remember when the pandemic hit? Like everybody was selling out of microphones,
Yeah.
and webcams,
Yep,
and everything
yep.
like that. So I'm like, okay, well, I couldn't get any. I wanted to get like a pod mic. Nope, couldn't get it. Wanted to get the Procaster. Couldn't get it. Wanted to get the SM7B. Couldn't get it. I'm like, what am I going to do? And then Tom's channel, he's got great videos where he was comparing like the SM7B versus the SM58, which is like a $95 microphone. And then this versus the pod mic. And I'm like, that actually sounds really good.
Yeah.
And he's running it through the Rodecaster. So I made some audio decisions based on Tom's videos. So I'm like super grateful for his channel. He
That's how I got stuck
fantastic
with the
content.
SMQ2U because all the pod mics were sold out. Everything was sold out. And my AKG 420 died and like right in the beginning of the pandemic. And I was like, oh, no more mics available? Are you joking? And so I
Yeah.
said, you know what? I'll
Why-
buy this
why did
Q2U as a stopgap. And it turned out to be great. And I was like, oh, I mean, I was seriously connecting my my handheld DJ mic, like I'm singing karaoke.
Why do they name all these mics with password managers? Is that a thing? Like they just say
no,
generate single random
seriously,
password and then that's the name
right?
of the mic?
Right. That's actually funny.
Oh, okay. Lighting is up next. We go from audio to lighting. 100 watts in a wire, which amazing name. I don't really know what it means, but it's funny. Can you talk about your approach to lighting? And love the pink cubes. I think he's talking to you, Rene, on that one.
So dope.
So what I did is I went to I wanted a certain look for YouTube. And again, it depends on the type of content you're making, because in some types of content, you want it to look really natural, like even phone footage or just like handheld.
Oh,
you
wait,
want that sort of authenticity.
Whoa, what just happened?
It's a
Wait.
Rene memory puzzle.
What just happened to me? Okay, hold on. I gotta fix this.
You broke it.
Control
This is the best.
It's like an 80s music video.
I don't know.
See, everybody, even the live streaming pros screwed up sometimes too.
How did that?
Rene
how
Ritchie
did that
was
screw
here.
me over?
See, go ahead.
Doc
It's my
Rock.
turn. Yay.
I'm feeling a little left out. All right, there I am. Thank you.
This is the way.
This is the way.
I can't even access
We're just
all
gonna,
of
hey,
a sudden.
Gloria, you and me, let's go. Let's roll just like this. Hey, if somebody drops a super chat, I can literally eat Abby right now. So
Oh my
Literally,
gosh.
3/4 of D.
Wait,
or
hold
Doc,
on.
I can eat
Hey,
Doc, whatever.
No, you know when they superimpose somebody's face on another person's face, if you put me on D, not that much people would know the difference. It'll look like a lot.
That would be funny. Like your top over here on my bottom. Yeah. I get you in trouble. Give me the mouth. You're in trouble.
We can do left and right.
Okay, that is so weird. I literally just a bug hit me. So, okay.
At least you didn't have your mouth open when they hit you, like when you ride a motorcycle.
That is true. I have to reset everything. Okay,
That's crazy.
D was next.
It looks like you're paving over D.
I am.
What do we
Wouldn't be
call
the
it?
first
Rene,
time.
nuke and
Yeah.
pave?
Yeah.
All right, one more.
There we go.
We got one more.
Just another Chris says it's more like live streaming schmoes.
Wait, what does that mean? Schmoes. What is a schmo?
Schmuck. Yeah.
Or
yeah.
schmo.
Schmuck.
It's
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
it's a dig.
Wow.
pros.
Wow.
Yeah.
The opposite of a
They're
pro.
dragging us in Yiddish now.
Yeah.
All right. Wait, hold on. D is not
great.
right. No,
Yeah, we
it's
know.
Doc. It's Doc
Yeah,
that's not
yeah.
right.
I am definitely
Tell me
not
about
right.
it. Yeah.
I told you that. Yes. I got a whole bunch of folks that can attest to that.
Hold on. That's because he's not custom. Okay, hold on. We're getting there. Y'all can talk and deliver massive value
No,
while
we're-
I'm doing this,
Should I-
or
you
you
want
can
me to
just
go
make
on?
fun
Have
of
this-
me.
We just,
No.
we just
I just
We
want to
just-
bring
we
up my
just wanna
favorite
put the
new
pressure
toy,
on
my
you.
Uncle Festus bulb.
I saw that on that little.
can
You had
just
that
go
on that.
The thing that I did is I went and looked at a ton of videos on how to do cinematic lighting, and there's a really good ones on Crimson Engine and on Mondo Bytes where they show you how to have a key light and a kicker light and a fill light and what they do and what angles to put them on if you want like a full on. I think Luria has a light right in front of her, and I have
Yeah,
a light.
well, I have two lights in front of me. Yeah.
Two lights in front of me. I have a 300D aperture 300D here, so it's a massive light just there, and then I have a Quasar Science bulb here and a Quasar Science bulb there. So the idea is you want to get contrast, and then you want to fill, and then you want a headlight, hair light, and that sort of gives you what they call dimensionality in cinematography.
I called
Yes.
mine a
But you can
bulb
find
light.
the style you like, and then there's tons of good videos on them.
Yeah, I have a cheap man's version of the Aperture 300 D300 right here in front of me, and then I have a side light for filling in this side, and then I have an Elgato Key Light Air right above me for the hair light, and then I have lots of lights in the background as well. But you don't
And they have a new
on the
version from
300?
Aperture. They have much lower cost versions
They
that you
just got
can't travel
brand
with
new
them.
ones.
Like
Yeah.
the other ones are
got
metal. These
brand
ones
new
are
ones.
plastic. They don't travel as well, but they're really good.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah,
Doc,
there's
just so
a
you know, Renee has a slight delay. We were talking about earlier. I don't think you were here when we were talking about that earlier. Just so
I
you know
thought
why.
about Renee. No, I was going to say.
She means in
Aperture
real life,
just
Doc,
dropped-
not on the internet.
Oh, okay. They just dropped a 200D, a 100D. So I'm going to do it in order. A 100D,
Yeah.
a 200D, right? Those are daylight, which is my light, daylight balance. And then they have a 100X and 200X. Those are bicolor,
Yeah.
which is like me. I'm bicolor. Then those work as well. But now, instead of having to go, say, after the full kit, close to $1,000 for a 120D or a 200D, you can literally buy a 100D for $200, and it's a 100-watt Cobb light. And Cobb means circuit on board. It's just a single flat, and they're dope. Actually, I got one right here. This is a Cobb light. When you see the circuit is right there, just tiny little circuit on board. So this joint right here is ridiculous bright.
Whoa. Ow.
That hurts.
What
This-
happened to
Migraine.
D?
Instant migraine.
My waterproof one that I
We're
use for
nerds,
shoots.
Doc. We're not used to the sun.
I think you killed D with that light.
I know, right? We just
did.
took him out. But I like that in D's case, the number 3 guest avatar actually looks like D, so we're good. So yeah,
Doc, the
circuit on
Vampire
board lights
Slayer.
are incredible because they last very long and they don't use a lot of power. They don't get hot. And so you can get myriad range of circuit on board lights. And I will tell you right now, those new apertures already in the cart.
Love it. Chris Erickson was correcting me. It's more like a cheap man's 120D. But yeah, thank you for that. We had a question. Hold on. We've got super chats coming in. And all of a sudden, my super chats don't
changed
seem
my
to be.
lights. Mine are scrappy.
Yeah, this is a good one. Love the energy in the room. What lights is Mel using to get her cubes to glow so beautifully?
These. These are cheap smart bulbs by
Awesome.
Feet Electric, and there's an app. And so they're just cheap little spotlight bulbs, literally from like Lowe's. And they're very, they're inexpensive. Well, show it to you, I guess. Try, maybe like that.
Yeah.
And so they're not meant for this, of course. But so I also have the cheap tubes that I got, and they always fall. Luria knows that. But these little spotlights, I just put them in the cube, but I can change the colors of them just on the app. And so I love that. And then behind me is just an LED light strip that's it's on the back of the desk. I like that look of the glow with the colors, and it sort of just kind of matches the direction I'm going with my brand, and which is really, just kind of fun. But I have a ring light in front of me. I don't have anything. I have nothing fancy. I don't have any of the Elgato stuff because, again, it's all about being scrappy. But my hair light that I have is a clamp-on desk light. It now currently has a sock over it to help it diffuse a little bit more. So my approach to lighting is my approach to everything. It's what can I go get at the store here locally? How can I not spend hundreds of dollars? And so, those bulbs are, for 3 of them, it's $30. Now you can go buy like the Philips Hue bulbs, and they're smart bulbs too, so I can talk to them, but they're just so much more expensive. But these I found, and they get the job done. But I actually like lights because I do think they add personality. They change things, but not everybody wants that colorful thing. Like Luria doesn't. I remember your stream when you were doing the LEDs, and it was like, but that's not the look Luria wants. And so
I always look at lighting as an environment that you're creating for your audience, and
yes.
you guys are all using lighting in various ways to create a mood or an environment for your audience. This is my living room, so I am always here, but it's also I forgot to move the dog bed. Whoops. But I wanted an airy and a light environment, and so I chose to just stick with the open window and also just white lights so that I didn't have that darker mood, because I'm light and airy as a personality, and so I wanted my place to be and my set to be as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you should definitely set your mood. It's very key. In the very beginning, Mel, you would be proud. I wanted a big beauty dish, but I didn't have one. So I seriously took a cardboard box. I filled it with aluminum foil, like spray glue, stuck it to the side, and bought an entire string of just like LEDs on the string. Just threw them in the box, lighted up, and put a Ross $2 shower curtain in the front. And that was my key light, right? And then it dawned on me that from my photography gear, I have this photography light that we use when we do shoots in the sun, where you have to fight the sun. And I was like, I always thought it was dumb to put it here in the studio, because this is literally a $1,500 light, but it's made for photography. And then when you couldn't buy any more lights, I just said, screw it. If I break it, I'll buy another one. But I literally put my photography light here, and it hasn't moved. But I want to switch it out to something like the 100D, because if I burn this, I'll be irritated, because this is also a flash, and it does it does more things. It's not just a standard light. So I feel like just leaving it here 24/7 on as my room light is kind of ill. So yeah, you would be amazed. There are great videos on how to make like beauty dish out of a pie pan and various other things. And the guy who taught me cinematic lighting is a guy named Victor Milt. And his situation, he made an entire, it used to be on DVD and VHS. He had a course called Nano Lighting, and it was about making like Home Depot and drugstore moves to like create a 25-degree grid, and like how to use like aluminum foil to create bounces. He had incredible lighting technique, and this dude has like awards for all of these movies and things with his lighting. And so yeah, I learned cinematic lighting actually in the industry, but the guy that I learned from was like you. How can we do all of this stuff for cheap? Because we're going to throw it away at the end, and it wasn't worth, these guys spend all this money so they can make deals with people, but he just didn't want to scare the young filmmakers. So I learned lots of light cheats.
I love that.
I think that so many people in my audience they're not going to go invest. They're not going to invest in all that stuff. They're just getting started. And so, but I teach them the concepts of, try to face a window. I actually have a patio door in front of me, but the curtains are closed because I've changed that look. But, you know, even just paper shade lamps, I mean, go a long way sometimes. But I kind of want to hear Dee's perspective on lighting, especially because...
Welcome back!
Yeah. Hey, it's funny because Dee's look right now reminds me of the Wistia look. I mean, Wistia, you know, I learned so much about video years ago through Wistia's content when they were first putting content out. And I remember they always had all that same look of the backlight on the gray background. And anyway, every time I see this view of Dee, I always think of Wistia. But anyway.
I love this simple setup that Dee has.
Yep.
I mean, it's out of necessity.
Dee's bunker.
But
I'm in the bunker, y'all.
You can change it.
Yeah, so my situation's kind of unique, and I'm happy with it. I'm in an Airbnb. I've been stuck in Mexico since the pandemic started. The light that you see behind me giving a glow is just a little aperture, what are these called? MC, what are these called? MC RGB light. I don't know what these things are called. It's just one of them behind me. So if I'm doing a stream in the daytime and I can't totally control the light around me, I make it white. But then when the sun goes down, I can completely isolate all my lights and can control everything, and I make it purple. And it puts off a really cool, it takes that gray wall and makes it like a black purple look. And it looks really cool.
I love that Doc didn't get up. He wheeled his way back. So I keep going.
I
these are
had my knee
fantastic
replaced last year. It's not completely healed, so me hobbling is
Oh,
more
yeah,
scary
yeah.
than me rolling.
It was very Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
My key light is a very, it's about this big. I mean, you know, ideally you want a large key light, you know, that's soft so the soft light falls on you, but I can't travel with a large key light. So I got something small. It's about this big. It's by a company called Falcon Eyes, and the brand or the model is RX8T. RX8T. It's a foldable LED panel. So you can literally just roll it up or just fold it up and stick it in your suitcase. So that's my key light. It's doing a good enough job. And then I've got a little bit of a... Right,
Nice.
so I'm adding that, and what that is an Aperture F7 that I just got on a little stand. So that's my setup.
Awesome.
Everything fits into my luggage, carry-on luggage, and it works. It's working. You know, it allows me to continue to make videos and continue to do my live streams, be it for my channel or other people's channel, and still look good.
Yeah.
It's simple, but it's functional. It's great.
It looks great.
We have an interesting question from Jason, who has challenges with lighting because he streams in a blacksmith shop with a glowing forge that will be changing intensity all the time. Any suggestions?
Oh man, lean
embrace
into that. Lean into that
Sounds
forge.
cool as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Lean all the way
Yeah,
into
like
that.
that.
I
Yeah, you
love
got two
that.
options here.
Watch Game of Thrones. Base your lighting on that.
Yeah, two options. Either don't stream in that shop or lean into it and just make it part of your live stream and, like, you know, show all the grit and the steel and everything around you and make it part of your set. I think you could totally embrace that.
I'll make
So
this
he
easy
talked.
for you.
He talked about
Watch
the
Forged in
changing of
Fire.
hue, though.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, but
okay.
it's- I mean-
that's fire. That's fire.
Yeah.
That's funny because I say that's fire all the time. But like, watch Forged in Fire, and then there is an ancillary show that probably Forged in Fire stole. It came from YouTube. There's these guys that make like comic book weapons on YouTube, and they are also a blacksmithing shop. And just see what they do, because like when I go
Who
to
was that
Japan,
again?
the name of the one that's on YouTube, I'll look it up real quick.
Oh, okay. Keep talking.
But just Forged in Fire is the History Channel one, and then the other guys that basically stole. I think History Channel stole the concept from the YouTube show, because in my head the YouTube show's been out way longer. But it's incredible, and every time I go to Japan, I get knives made, and I get to go and shoot in there, and it's a mess. But that's the part of it. That's the part that's so dope, is you see that. Oh man, I love blacksmithing. I wish if I started all over, that's what I'd be doing instead of wood shop. Less chance, well, actually more chance of losing a finger, but at least it's a clean
And it's
cut.
not a problem. Like if you're live streaming, it's going to be contiguous, so you're going to just watch it change over time. If you're doing edited video, it'll look jumpy because you'll be cutting out parts, and then it won't look smooth. But if you're streaming, people are going to just love it. It'll go with
That's
you.
a good point. Chris, are you saying Men at Arms is the channel, or All Me is the channel?
Men at Arms.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. It's Men at Arms.
Men at Arms. And go ahead.
I was just saying one thing that he could do is, so when you're using your key light, like if all you have is that that light from that metal being smelted or whatever is going on there, yeah, it's going to change everything a lot. So get a key light, get a nice big soft key light, get it right up just out of frame, right? You don't have to have it too bright, but get it just out of the camera's frame and make it bright enough to where it lights you up so it doesn't have too much of, so you don't get too much effect from the actual forging that's going on. But having a little bit of that shift going on, I think would add, you know, you're embracing the set, and I think that'd be cool.
Awesome. And there was a question regarding the first light doc that you showed. You were blinding us with. What was that one?
This one?
I think so. Yeah.
This
one
one
that killed
or
D.
The one that killed
killed
D.
D.
I think it was the first one.
Oh, okay. So
Or
this
that
is
one right there.
That one.
The company is called Light in Motion. The company is called Light in Motion. These are photography lights, but this is known as a Stella 2000. The reason why I have this is because I often do shoots at the beach, or I'll throw this in the water because it's 100% waterproof.
Nice.
It's amazing, and this guy is 2,000 lumens. Hence the Stella 2000. That one back there is like 10K.
Does it cook the fish for you right in the ocean?
No, because it's LED, so it doesn't. There's no heat whatsoever.
I mean,
Trying to
what
figure out
kind
what
of
it
show are
did to
you
Dee.
doing in the water?
Yeah.
No, it's not for streaming. That's for my photography type work.
Oh, okay.
But I have used this with an umbrella for.
It's an
streaming,
alt
too.
account. Don't drag him for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's for my OnlyFans
That's
Mermaid
bright.
Edition or Merman Edition.
Merman.
Yeah, you know, Jason is
Signing up
actually,
right
I know
now.
Jason, he's
Signing
my
up right
homeboy.
now.
And
Shut up
after
and take my
him and
money.
like everybody falling in love with him, I wanted to become a merman. But I'm not as cool as Jason. And before he moved to California, he's like from right down the street. Momoa, sorry, I just say Jason because
You're at least as cool.
Okay, he's way cooler.
Oh, lighting, audio, you guys have gotten it all. Next up is a question from Just Think Legal. I go live every weekday. Should I still edit out the ums or leave them? How are you going to edit out ums in live exactly? I'm not sure.
The script.
Yeah, I was
Well,
gonna say
that's
the
true.
script, but
That's
that would
true.
be to repurpose the video, right?
Right, but
Yeah.
not
Upload it
for
somewhere else.
live. It's really, so you can always learn to speak better and more flowing without those ums and ahs, but at the same time, don't even worry about it. Just do you and talk as you're going to talk. I just said right? I say those things and I have pauses, and it's part of language for most people. Amy Porterfield is the only person in the world who I know who speaks naturally without that. I thought she always edited everything, and I was like, what? She just does this naturally. It's crazy. But it's us. It's us as humans, and most people don't even pay attention to it, you know, unless it's super excessive. But see, there you go. Now I'm going to be thinking about it.
We just created our next drinking game.
As soon as someone says to me, do you edit out the ums? And I'm like, nah, then all of a sudden I will start to But normally I just don't. I mean, it will eventually go away. But everyone says the people that say I'm a lot, they normally not even are nervous. You ask them something that they don't have the full information yet, and they're either trying to process your question because it requires processing, or they don't necessarily know. So sometimes I will judge, and I can kind of tell whether they're processing your information because you asked them a difficult question, or whether they just don't know and they're fishing. And then you know what to do. Go research it again. But normally, I don't even believe that. I don't believe it's even a nervous tick. Nervous ticks is a little bit different. And just learn to talk like the previous president, and you have time to think about what you're going to say.
Isn't there software too? I forget its name, but there's that new software that it gives you put your footage in and it gives you text for it. And as you edit the text, it edits the video for you. And I think it can auto strip ums out.
Descript.
Yeah, it can auto strip ums for you if you think it's a big issue.
It's legit. And it's the one money that everybody should spend money on if you repurpose content or make podcasts.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Next question for Dee, specifically from Lonnie. Get ready. Are you ready? Okay.
That is how I
Wrong.
would be. Yeah.
Wrong, Rene. Is there a way? Is there a way to connect a mobile phone, Android, as a webcam for using USB-C to HDMI cable plus a capture card to the PC like in Sony, Canon, etc. cameras. Thanks. Did you get all that?
Yeah. Okay, so let me undo this right here. I thought you would never ask. So if you want to connect your phone and use it as a webcam source, am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, I think that's what they want to do.
Yes.
Okay, so if you're using an Android, you're going to probably need a USB-C. If it's an iPhone, you're going to need a Lightning port. But they make adapters so you can send out to HDMI. And then once it goes out from HDMI, you're going to need some sort of a capture card. It could be the A10 Mini, or it could be a cheap little $20 capture card that everybody's raving about. Or it could be something, like an Elgato Cam Link or something like that. But you're going to have to take this out of your phone, HDMI into some sort of a capture card, then bring it into your PC, and then it becomes a camera source. So if you're whatever you're using, if you're using OBS or vMix or whatever, it just becomes a camera source. So it's really simple to do.
Yeah.
Does it require an app on the Android phone?
It might. It depends. It depends on the phone. It depends on the phone. If your native camera isn't working, I recommend downloading Filmic Pro, and then you can go into the settings and set clean HDMI, so you don't have any settings. But I do recommend that when you are getting your adapter, make sure that you get one with a charging pass-through, so you can just keep your phone charged while you're
Yeah, that goes wrong really fast without
yes,
that.
yes.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Streamed it.
This is a really good question for Rene. And I know, Rene, you've actually struggled with this a little bit. Altcon says, how much do you script and how much do you speak on your that you speak on your channel is just in the moment? It looks so composed. So Rene, of course, does a mix of recorded video and live streaming. And I know that, I saw a thread from you and I didn't have a chance to really dig into that, but that sounded like something that you're actually kind of questioning and struggling with.
Yeah, so I'm used to, for years of podcasting, speaking extemporaneously like we're doing right now. But for some reason, when it's just me alone with that camera that never blinks, it just feels so much more stressful. And the pressure I put on myself to deliver turns me a little bit robotic, a bit robotic, actually. And that thread was about, I was watching a lot of you, I was watching a lot of Peter McKinnon, I was watching a lot of people who just seem to speak really, really well off the cuff. Trying to figure it out. And I think Dee and Nick also gave me some really good advice about it. So now if it's something that's highly technical, I'll still script it out because I don't want to give people wrong information. And I know Doc could list every product that was ever sold that went through the FCC verbatim off the top of his head. I do not have that Mentat level power. So if it's things that involve technical details, I'll still script those. Otherwise, I've been forcing myself to not have any notes and to do just a lot more reaction type stuff just so that I can get over the intimidation of that camera that is still staring at me right now.
And
Can I give you cheat code, Rene? I'll give you cheat code. I make those videos including those mistakes. And here's why. When people go nuts in the comments about the mistake you made, you get to make a follow-up video.
Oh, wow.
And it's engagement.
More watch time.
Is it an
Yes,
apology
more
video?
views,
Do I have to
more
do that?
watch
I was wrong about
No,
the
I don't-
spec on that camera.
I will
It was
say
not
this, though.
1.4.
Here's the one thing about if you did do an apology video, and this I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and you know this better than anybody.
Canadian apology.
Tech guys never come back and say I was wrong about the thing that I thought was going to be the thing, and it wasn't the thing. And I wish somebody would just own up to it finally. It be like, no, Ming Ching Kuo, we do not have an Apple TV. We have Apple TV, but not an Apple TV 50-inch planted to the wall. That still says Sony up there. That dude's been saying that mess every year since, 2006?
I've done those videos. I did
that's what I'm saying.
the
And
dumbest
so
M1
that's
takes.
why your apology videos, it moves. It still moves. So don't worry about it. And I think the one thing that's dope about extemporaneous speaking is it allows the passion to come through. And sometimes, and you said it yourself, you beat yourself up. None of us care. We like it no matter what.
Yeah.
So your provenance of your info capability is already there. You're having imposter syndrome when you do that to yourself. And again, Einstein and Maya Angelou both had imposter syndrome. So did Mario Andretti. And I'm like, bruh, can't nobody catch you. All they see is a-hole and elbow, and you still don't think that you're the best driver out here? Like, seriously, come on. But I get it myself.
Yeah,
so
the hard thing
it's
is
hard to shake.
like YouTube too. Like the YouTube comments are, you speak too fast, you speak too slow. I'm going to unsubscribe if you speak faster. I'm going to unsubscribe if you speak slower. And it's just like
Cool,
a deluge of them commenting on everything but the content.
Let them unsubscribe. That one to
Dude.
three people.
Middle
that will
fingers all the way
unsubscribe,
around
screw
for
them.
that one. Yeah.
Thank you.
When I realized the first time, I remember where I was looking at my computer when I realized you cannot please everybody. And it was because on the same exact video, I was reading my YouTube comments. Somebody said, you're the most beautiful woman in the world. You're an ugly beep. You should be off the internet. On the same video. And then on another video, it was your shirt is too low. You should wear higher shirt. No, your shirt is too low. You should wear lower shirts. Like there was just like this series of like back
I get the
and
same
forth.
one.
In the same video.
Same
I know, right?
Like, more
I think my shirt should be higher right now.
Yeah, I'm
sure
putting
mine over my head soon.
But it's just like this boom, 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 boom. Like you cannot please everybody. So you've been doing this for way too long to still be focusing on those comments so much.
Yep.
Like I would just really encourage you to
I want
let
to
that
please.
go.
I want to make a good product.
But
and
you
I feel
do.
enormous pressure to make a good product. Yeah,
Every
I know.
You know
single.
what? You're really scripted. Like perfect videos are for Nebulous. For YouTube, just be YouTube. There you go. So when you fix them and you edit them, I just moved myself by the fireplace with the blinking.
I was
light.
gonna say.
You could have a forgery.
It got nice and warm and cozy over there.
Renee, I'm here to come and save you now. So, yeah, just save him for that, bro. That's,
You either die
I,
the YouTube
I
hero.
like when
or
you go
live long enough.
nerdy and some people go, oh, you're being too technical. Do you know Rene? Of course he's being too technical.
Of
That's the
course.
point. That's who he's talking to us. He's not talking to Mike that just woke up and found out that calculators add stuff up.
I do script some of my recorded videos, not all of them, but some of them. And I never. Well, okay, I'll tackle live here in a second. But some people are able to read a prompter and make it sound natural, and that is either a talent or it's a learned skill. What? Oh,
Not me. Oh, the prompter will make it so much worse.
yeah. And you have to know that about yourself, right? And sometimes that takes testing. I remember like the first time I read a prompter, I didn't know what I was doing, but that was just something that I just had naturally in me to be able to use the inflection of my voice while still reading. And the magic is in the inflection of the voice, the movement of the head, the movement of the eyes, right? It's like all of the visual communications as well. Yeah, it's still going. It's still going, Stephanie. So recorded videos for me, I still prompt sometimes. But live, I never recommend anybody stream like live prompts because there's so much that can go wrong.
Yeah.
I will tell you a secret. Sometimes I have. I haven't in a long time, but sometimes I will. If there's like the beginning of a speech, where I'm like, this needs to be like, boom, strong, I will, because I can. And I also know how to recover if something goes wrong with the prompter, because prompters can go wrong, right? And I can keep going. I know that about myself because I've had to do it in high pressure, $1 million situations. And so, but I say all of that to say, like, this is not something that you should count on or do, right? It's not something that goes well for 99% of the people. So anyway, anybody else?
You know,
I did start
best way of
scripting again for shorts because I cannot talk for 1 minute. I found out everything I thought was a minute was like 3 minutes. Very careful, limiting
That's
it
like my
for YouTube
life.
Shorts.
Yes.
The best part,
Bobby-
of course, right when I say that, I get stuck. I think I got lucky, and I say this from a pure, just lucky standpoint. When I was working in radio, and we're doing a stadium and there's 77,000 people waiting to see Casey and JoJo, and you find out those dudes are still at the hotel like when it's supposed to start, and they're like, hey, can you go out there and make sure those angry people don't mob the stage for the next half of what? And so I got lucky at knowing how to do that stuff from just being thrown under the bus by my station manager.
Told them about mics.
Yeah, no, I would go and do all kind of crazy stuff. I'm like, listen, if you're going to be like that, I'm giving away a trip to Vegas. I'm giving away everything because you are not leaving me to get killed by these folks. So I would just go up there and start giving away stuff that we weren't supposed to give away. But whatever. I'll tell the promoter, you get next 10 concerts from this promoter is free because I was mad at the promoter. But you just learn how to, like, do it. And people appreciate it. There's so many new people right now. They don't want to see all the polished folks. They want to see us, which is why I think so many people are in love with Clubhouse, because when I'm in the room yesterday with Sean, he's literally rocking Sean Bradley to sleep. Sorry, Sean Cannell. He's literally rocking Sean Bradley to sleep because outside of YouTube phenom, he's a dad and he got baby. And Sophia is like, you put that kid to bed, I'm going to sleep. So at probably like 3 o'clock his time in the morning, he got baby Sean Bradley talking on Clubhouse quietly, but still dropping knowledge. Yeah. And I think people now in that room, there was probably like a couple hundred of us, have even more respect for Sean. Not that he's not already one of the dopest YouTube guys out there because of his personality. The fact that he's a dad and he's a normal dude. Like he's not he's not LeBron James out here, even though LeBron is relatively a normal celebrity. You know, there's some guys that are just, you don't think they're real because they don't really talk to their audience per se. I think I got more respect for Sean yesterday. I don't even have kids because I know that he's putting in that work and still taking care of his son and coming in and dropping real caring facts on the people in this room.
Yes, yes, and yes.
You have us, Doc.
Yeah. My kids are you in ranking and Jeff Gamet.
I've only read from a script once, and it's actually the first time I made a free e-course. It's called Social Media Foundations, and it's just a free e-course on my site. And I remember sitting down, and I was like, okay, I got this. And I knew what I wanted to say. And I had so many freaking takes. And again, it goes back to what I'm always saying. I find live video so much easier to do than a pre-recorded video because there's this pressure to make it polished or like right now, like what I just did, I would have to edit that out, right? Like if it was pre-recorded. And so I think the live video for me is just so much more natural. And also like what Doc was saying, people aren't going to expect it to be perfect. And so, that is something I personally love. But I actually got to the point where I said, this isn't working. I've spent 3 hours trying to record this one dang video. And so I literally typed up what I wanted to say. I, rigged up my iPad onto another thing. It was awful. It was like my daughter's easel for painting. I had the iPad there as close to the camera as possible. And it was like too fast. So then I had to slow it down. It was a mess. And I did it, and I don't, it was just like, I literally was like, man, if anybody could see the behind the scenes right now, talk about scrappy. But the videos turned out fine. But one of the things I don't love is I don't have the same energy in the videos. And so I'm going to be redoing those videos, but I don't have the same energy because of that formality, that structure. So I do think what Luria you're describing, I 100% think that you have to decide, what's going to work best for you. But me, the sacrifice was I sacrificed my energy, but I got the words right. So,
that's not a good. I mean, it will. No. It depends on the intention of the video, but most of the time,
done is better than perfect at this point. Right, it's going to get redone.
Done is better than perfect. Money shot. And I'll say this real quick: when the opportunity comes back again, and they start filming or shooting things in your neighborhood, if possible, try to go and get a job as a volunteer or as a PA. When you see behind the scenes of all the shows that you think are great or all the movies that you think are great, and you see what a train wreck it is, you'll calm down. This is YouTube. Yeah. So I know Lauria's done commercials.
Or Luria knows being a guest on cable news.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Just go to
anytime you're on a news show, they are cursing the minute they go to break.
Yeah, it's a big mess. And also I will tack onto this one thing, being off script actually allows you to create more audience triggers. And these are engagement points, right? So every time, you guys know me, I screw up words all the time. Influx of bulges, anyone? I was trying to say influx of people, and somehow bulges came out. And that turned...
Okay.
I know.
18 only, people.
Phrasing.
18 only. If you are under the age of 18, you're going to have to exit the stream right now. We're about to talk about bulges and Doc's feet. It's going to get weird. It's going to get weird.
And it has become a thing. It's become an audience trigger. People remind me of it. They use the hashtag. You know, it's a thing that comes up over and over and over time. So it's like that reality and that authenticity can be so good for engagement, which, by the way, more engagement you get, the more audience the more growth your audience. See? I give up.
The more groping your audience gets.
Yeah,
I'm leaving the
Gloria's
stream
now got
before
she has
my
bulges in the
reputation
brain.
gets
It's
any
over,
more
ladies
bad.
and gentlemen.
The
You either end
comments.
the stream or you
It's
become the
officially
villain.
over.
Well, and on that, my niece's birthday is today, and I have a FaceTime call with her right now. So I told her I was going to be a
Happy
few minutes
birthday.
later, but I do need to wrap this up. But are y'all up for a little dancing this baby out?
Absolutely.
Everybody, put your dancing shoes on in the comments. You guys put the dancing shoes on. While you do that, we're going to make sure you know where to follow all of these amazing panelists. Thank you guys so much. I know this was like last minute and you guys rocked this so much. Doc Rock, yeah, where can people find you and all of the links to our guests?
I got it right on the first go. You can find me all over the interwebs at DOCROCK. And then, yes, please come and check out the Facebook group. It's docrock.live/group. We have a blast over there. And, yeah, this is fun.
Mel.
Yo, so yeah, you can just find all the fun places to follow me on my website at melaniedyann.com. That's DYANN. And then if you like Facebook groups as well, and you want to be scrappy but not crappy, then come join all us scrappy DIYers in my Facebook group, DIY Marketing with Melanie.
And Dee.
I can't stop thinking about bulges.
Somebody, there was a hashtag on there earlier. It was like hashtag bulge something. Gross. A lot of comments right now.
Hard. You're right,
don't know.
Kevin.
My name is Dee Nimmin. You can find me all over the interwebs at Dee Nimmin, or you can go to DeeNimmin.com, and it will forward you over to my YouTube channel, and you can find me on Clubhouse. I'm bringing a bulge, and I'm ready to party.
I'm gonna
TMI.
add one more B, D. So now we're going to be bald, bearded, bespectacled, and bulge.
Bulge.
It's awesome.
New hashtag.
Oh,
And we'll be over on OnlyFans after this is over.
Signing up right now.
and I'm
Dee's
going to make
gonna
my
make a new-
shirt a little higher. Or wait.
Dee's going to make a new Clubhouse club called the Bulging Club.
Bring my OnlyFans.
Before this gets crazy, Rene.
You can find me at Rene Ritchie almost everywhere. YouTube.com/Rene Ritchie, Rene Ritchie on Twitter, and Clubhouse, where I'm sure I'll be for far too long later on today.
I have actual work to do. I'm going to attempt not to show up on Clubhouse today, but we
Good luck with that.
never
We'll see
know.
Are you saying Clubhouse isn't work?
All right, we are ready to dance this baby out. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me
Thank
today.
you.
And this was so much fun that the audience has requested it more. I think we're going to do this like on a quarterly basis or something.
Love
I think
it.
this would be fun. All right, let's help. No.
Bulge out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
Let's bulge this out.
Yeah.
You know, in history,
Throw
there was
pants
the
in hand.
battle
Let's
of the
go.
bulge.
Got my tearaway pants ready to roll.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And
Bye.